want me to go to the YouTube channel to look at the questions, or we can see it here?
Well, I just used the Film Junket podcast
Yeah, I saw
hashtag.
that.
Yeah, so I'm
Right.
just using that as my list. I usually just click
Okay.
the
Okay.
podcast hashtag, and then I put the latest, and that's where you can see those questions. So, anyways, we are live. What's happening, film friends? Dave the Film Junkie here. Welcome to another episode. I don't even know what episode it is. Probably should have looked that up, but I'm not good at my job. Anyways, here with Chris Wong-Swenson.
Hello.
Flicks, man. Go check out his channel. Does a lot of breakdowns, film reviews, all kinds of stuff, and talks a lot about the DCEU. How you doing today, Chris?
Good. Glad to be here. Thanks for the invite.
No problem. Apparently, a lot of people wanted it. Yeah, I saw a lot of responses out there where people were like, "Oh my God, really? You too? Both of you?"
Yeah, I'm pretty shocked, actually.
Yeah, a lot of people were excited to have us talk to one another and just bullshit about whatever. So, but how long have you been doing YouTube? I should first say that I've talked to you a lot on Twitter. Right. There was something we would exchange stuff back and forth, and that's been, for a while, a little bit. Right. And I think I've came across your videos before, but then it was earlier this year where somebody actually sent me your video about the timeline about the events happening behind the scenes of Justice League. Oh, that's when I watched it. I watched through thoroughly, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I talked to this guy on Twitter. I just didn't put it together because I'm kind of a moron like that. And I realized it was you, and then I was like, oh yeah, and then I hit you up, and ever since then I've been loving your soothing, sexy voice.
Oh wow, thanks. Some people said it's whiny and like a duck. Those
people don't know what the hell they're talking about. I find it soothing.
I actually started a YouTube thing after Batman v Superman.
Did you?
And I kind of talked about my videos, but it was depressing how I liked it and nobody else liked it in my own community, except for maybe one guy. And I was like, I can't be the only one that likes this. Come on, what is going on? And I found your video first.
Oh, okay.
And you were talking about Batman versus Superman. So I'm actually a fan of yours. I subscribed to you 2 years ago.
Oh, man.
So it's kind of cool that you noticed me. Hi, Film Junkie. Was a fan.
Yeah, I try. I mean, it gets difficult to I get hit up a lot. Hey, watch my video. I watch this video now, and I try to. But, it could be hard at times. But so go for it.
Oh no, I don't necessarily try to say, hey, let's do podcasts. Sorry, it's more like a hobby for me at night. I do it just to get away from the kids when they're all sleeping and get to expel my thoughts.
That's right. And Chris has kids. Yeah, he looks young, but he's got some chitlins running around.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And I was actually shocked when I saw that you had 3 kids. I was like, what? I thought you were a youngin'.
Yeah. Well, my wife thinks I'm a youngin'.
Oh, so there you go.
I got 4 kids, not 3 kids.
Yeah, that's right. That's what she says. Yeah. Well, look at your background. Your background is way better than mine.
No, well, I wish I could be technological like you guys. You see the green screen and stuff like it. I got a shitty. Can I swear on this thing?
Go for it.
Lamp, fan here, and just some toys
toys. Yeah, you got your Batman, your Superman.
It was mine, and I gave them to the kids, and then they broke him, and they broke him. And
can't give them the kids. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know.
We must keep them and keep them displayed and not touch them ever.
Yeah. Well, that's why I have a baby gate around this area now.
There you go. Guard it up. And you live in Hawaii, so you're even further back in time than I am. Because usually I always get mad, and you've seen my Twitter post where it always seems like every time there's a Marvel trailer that's going to drop, it's always 6 a.m. my time. So that's sometimes that's 4 a.m. your time, sometimes it's 3 because Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
They're not with the whole time change, the spring forward or go back.
And I don't even talk about it till nighttime if it comes out in the morning. I think isn't it an East Coast thing? Like it comes out in New York or something?
Yeah, like 9 o'clock. It's always Marvel movies though. It's weird, but it seems like everything else is always at night, in the evening or something like that. I don't know why. Okay. Whether it be Fox Marvel or the MCU, I always know it because I leave for work at 5:40 in the morning, and right when I get to work, there it is. There's a trailer, and then I gotta ignore my Twitter all day, so then I can put a camera in my face and watch it.
Yeah.
See my ugly mug react to it.
I see you in the car. You do a lot of that. So
yeah, I'll do a video vlog in the car. You know, I started. You know, I had to do something because man, I got something forming right here. Anyways, yeah, I had to do something because I'm at work all day. So that's when I started doing like the short videos, like little reaction videos that I do now.
Right, you're a little 30 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, you know what? I'll post something like that if I want to talk about it a little more in depth. Then I'll do a longer video. But how's the weather over there right now?
Well,
perfect,
actually, just had actually had a flash flood last night.
Oh well, geez.
And so some roads were closed. Actually, because my kids wanted to watch Rampage, and we went, one road was closed, and I was like, maybe we can watch it tomorrow, guys? Like, you want to watch it today? I'm like, all right, I'll find it. I'm looking on my phone. Finally found a theater, so we were gonna get that out of the way.
Nice. What did you think of it?
Yeah, it was good. I think it was a good. A lot of people say when I call it a B movie, they think that as like a negative thing, but for me, I mean, B movie I adore B movies because they're just dumb, fun stuff. You can switch off your brain and get to watching it. I'm totally fine with that. Yeah. And kids love it. So if the kids love it, I love it. Yeah.
That's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see it? Yeah.
I did see it. Yeah. I haven't posted my video
around
yet.
My eye. I'm gonna have to. Go ahead.
What's up? That's okay. Did you smoke out before you got on here? That's fine.
No.
I'm just kidding.
It's all I messed up. All right, go ahead.
No, yeah, I did see it. I haven't posted my review yet, so how dare you ask for my response? No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, people probably already gathered what I thought about it from my first reaction review, which was, you get what you pay for. It's nothing. Right. I wasn't expecting anything deep. I was expecting monsters and Dwayne Johnson saying some cheesy one-liners and flexing his muscle. Right. It's pretty much what you get with Rampage. I like George. I really did like George. I thought he was a good character. They actually made me feel for a big, huge silver gorilla.
It had a lot more heart than I
expected. With that character, I would say. And, you do definitely feel for him.
Yeah.
So that was good. And the special effects were mostly good. I mean, you can't complain. I mean, it seems like the monster movie is kind of booming right now, which is kind of cool.
It is. I'm actually
I noticed you did you're doing videos about that and stuff.
Well, I'm a huge giant monster fan. Kaijus. You see a little Ultraman over there.
Yeah.
Godzilla and everything. So that's my other, I guess, repertoire. in a sense, but
you're a fan of Pacific Rim, I take it, right?
Yes, I am. I know you are not.
That's the thing. It's like the first one I am. I love the first one, but the second one was just a little too, I don't know, a little too
cartoony.
Yeah, a little too cartoony, a little too Disney. I mean, the fighting was cool, but it just, for me, it just lost what Del Toro was trying to do in that first movie, to me, at least. So,
right. I mean, I get you. I prefer if Del Toro actually directed instead of just produced it, I think it would have been better off.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much he even was involved with it because he didn't promote it at all. You know how that little thing goes in Hollywood where they could put somebody's name somewhere, but they don't exactly have a lot of weight or a lot of power behind them.
Right.
So I'm not sure because I heard a lot of things, behind the scenes, like he was trying to get a sequel made and they kept turning him down. And then he finally gave up, and then they all of a sudden wanted to do a sequel, and they pretty much
wasn't his original idea with Charlie Day actually was part of that. It actually came back.
That's what I heard. Right. He wanted to keep that character. And it just didn't work out. And that's where I'm just going, I want to see his sequel more than what we got here. But who knows if that's ever gonna happen. But speaking of movies where certain people lost their power. Where's the Snyder Cut there, Chris?
Yeah, I don't know. I want it. Yeah, you see it. Yeah.
You're hiding it.
I don't have Justice League.
You didn't buy it either?
No, I did not.
A lot of fans didn't.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people give me crap for buying the digital version, but the kids got to watch something. The kids want to watch something, so I gotta get that.
I did.
But
I bought it.
You
Don't
did.
worry. You're not the only one. I'm still trying to support. I buy all movies. Movies that I like. Even Justice League, where it's hard to watch sometimes. Like when I put it on, it can be difficult now, you know. I mean, the last time I put it on, you know, and this was I'm talking about the actual cut, not any of the fan cuts. You know, I was like, you know, I'm just gonna put it on. I'm gonna work on some stuff, so I'm not gonna be fully paying attention. And it's just right when that opening scene hits, you just go, oh. It's just such a punch right to the gut because it starts off with that.
It's a huge bummer.
It really is, man. What were your thoughts when you first saw that on the big screen and, you know, you just see Cavill's face?
When I first saw it, I was like, oh, wow, they actually have Henry Cavill. And then he turns around and like, there is something wrong with his mouth. I was thinking, is that Henry Cavill? No, that's not Henry Cavill. No, that is, but something is wrong with it. And I couldn't get my eyes off of his mouth. Yeah. And then later on, that just set me up for failure because I've been just staring at his mouth for all the scenes.
It's hard not to look at.
It's hard not to look at. I mean, it just blew me. And I think a lot of people, like my wife didn't catch that at first, and a lot of people don't. But you and I, we're, you know, video people, so we automatically cue in on there's something wrong with that face.
Something wrong, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that was quite disappointing.
Yeah, I was kind of.
It was confusing.
It was. I mean, I saw an advanced screening. I was literally on the Warner Brothers lot watching.
I know.
With other reviewers around.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting because I should have looked around, or I should have like made a comment because I mean there's Collider guys like right over my shoulder.
Curious which ones?
I'm not sure some of their names, but Christian was one of them.
Christian Harloff was?
Yeah, Harloff. He was there. He's actually one that I like from those guys. Like, you know, some of them kind of but I like Christian. He's a good dude. He comes on the morning show that I listen to over here on KLOS. He talks about movies and stuff. I like him. He's funny. But he was there, and I should have just because it was immediately like, you know, I had a smile on my face because it's like, hey, finally, this movie is here. Yes, and then it opens up, and my smile just goes, and it's just all of a sudden like everything that I've been defending for the past year. You know, these videos where you're hearing like this nonsense about they're gonna remove the mustache, they're gonna reshoot half the movie, and this, that, and this, and it all sounds ridiculous. It sounds absurd, and it was. Yeah. It was unbelievable. You wouldn't think that a studio would actually do that, but they were actually trying to do that. And it just puzzles me that somebody actually said, that's okay. Yeah, keep that in there. It looks like shit, but whatever. Let's just throw it in there. It's like it was a scene that wasn't even necessary. Yeah. And the fact that it looked that bad, like his face looked that bad, they could have just removed it completely. And it would have made a difference. But they were I think they were really trying to push hey, Superman is in this, guys. Look at him. He just saved the day. And kids are now approaching him, and happy, happy, joy, joy.
Right.
But I must say that costume does not look really well. It doesn't look good in daytime light.
It's not lit well.
It's not.
It wasn't lit well.
See, that's the thing. It's like, you know, I made a stink about, you know, I'm not a big fan of how they put like silver, like chrome padding underneath, but under the right light, it looks really good. It pops.
Looked terrific in the behind the scenes shoot.
Yes.
You saw the behind the scenes is better than the actual fucking movie.
Well, and even in like the deleted scene that, you know, where he shows up with Alfred and everything, I mean, it looks great, you know? And but when they do those daytime shots, I mean, it's really noticeable in the Flash and in Superman scene where you just see an angle and you can like just see because like it's really supposed to morph around his muscle where it looks like it's not padding, but there's like a part where you just see the side and it just looks like it's just sticking out because I don't know. I think it was because Cavill wasn't as swole, you know, as he was during the first time. And I think he lost a little weight because he was shooting MI6, and I don't think he was. I don't think he was on set pumping iron. Yeah, because before, obviously, when they were shooting, I mean, look at Affleck. He was suffering from fat face every now and then, which is
There were some moments where Affleck, his mouth didn't fit his costume. I was like, there was something wrong there.
You could see it around his fucking neck. It was like, because like in the good scenes, it's like wrapped around perfectly. It's form fitting. Everything looks great. And then you can tell it's a reshot scene because the mask just doesn't look right, you know? It's almost like they had to make a looser one because his, you know, his face was a little chubbier. So, but then they kind of overcompensated because you can see that it's just not right. So frustrating.
And some people have sent me pictures of Aquaman, Jason Momoa, what Snyder, and his muscles look smaller.
Yeah.
And something else. And then Wonder Woman, it says, well, her hair is different. I don't know about that, but
yeah,
I'm like, okay.
that might be a stretch. I
don't know. I don't know about that, but whatever. It could happen.
Yeah,
well, that's the thing too. I defended it.
Yeah,
I feel really stupid.
Exactly. You don't know how. That's how I felt walking out of that screening room and walking back to my car across the lot. I mean, the first thing I said, because I was talking to somebody else that was there, and I turned around to him, and the first thing I said, I was all, "Wow, they really tried to de-Snyder that, didn't they?" And he agreed.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of, and we kind of talked about that. I'm like, yeah, that did not feel like a Zack Snyder movie. And then I'm sitting there, and I'm walking back. I'm walking across the street to the parking garage, and everybody, and I know, like, because I was posting on Twitter and everywhere that, that I'm seeing this movie. Everybody was excited for me. I was getting tweets saying, I can't wait to see your reaction. Everybody was so excited. I did not know what to fucking say. It was a struggle because I didn't want to just be like, I didn't want to be negative and I didn't want to be too positive. So my first reaction was
generally positive.
Well, I think a lot of people, I think it's a weird thing with fandom, with being fans of these movies, is a lot of times, when you're so jazzed up for a movie, you walk out, no matter how it was, you're positive, I think. If you really wanted to see something, you're positive. So there's plenty of that I saw on Twitter with a lot of people, who are fans. But then after a while, you start kind of realizing things and you start going back and going, you know what, maybe this isn't as good as I thought it was going to be.
Oh yeah, I get it.
I noticed a lot of that too, because some people will react to their tweets after they initially saw Justice League and they were super positive, but now they're super negative.
Right.
So, well, how did you feel after walking out?
Same thing. I was like, all right, my friends really enjoyed it, and they still do to this day, because they were the BVS haters. And a lot of people say, how can you be friends with? Well, actually, they respect my opinion and I respect theirs. Kind of
That's what it's all about.
We're really symbiotic in that sense, and they do. But I know when they hear the Christopher Reeve music, the John Williams score, the Tim Burton score, they're like cheering, and I was like, this is weird. I mean, I can see it through their lens. I'm like, if as a standalone, when the first time I see a standalone Justice League movie, this is entertaining. This is like a animated, DC movie, away from the prequels before that. But then it didn't, work for me when I'm trying to make it a trilogy. Yeah. In my mind, I wanted the Zack Snyder movie.
That's what we all wanted.
So I understand why people like it, but
I get it.
I thought about it later and like, man, that looked weird. No, I can't get past some of this stuff.
Yeah, the second time I saw it, which was later that week. Just imagine this though, Chris. Imagine seeing it like a few days before everybody else and having to keep it in.
Oh my God!
It was a struggle.
How do you do that?
It was a struggle because I remember the embargo wasn't supposed to be lifted till like 2 nights later or something like that. Or I forgot exactly how that little timeline went. It felt like the longest week of my goddamn life, though. That's for sure.
Oh wow!
I mean, not only for that, but there was like work things that were happening too. So it was just like a long week, and then and I was given little hints. I think on my Twitter, I kept posting GIFs from all the trailers of scenes that were not in the movie. A lot of people started catching on to it. I started getting tweets like, wait, that's not in the movie either. And I'm like, yeah. So just trying to keep it in, and then of course, when I gave my first reaction review, I just I gave excitement, and all I really did was say yes, like about 4 times. And a lot of people were confused because they're like, wait a minute, did you actually like it or not? And then when I walked over to the premiere, I was looking at, the people filing in. I was at like an elevated spot, and then I decided to record another video. And I mentioned that I liked it, but I wanted to talk more about it. I want to talk more in depth. So, mainly in my spoiler review, you got a lot of my critique in there. But as you watch it and rewatch it again, it's not an easy watch. It really isn't. But I get what you're saying. You have friends that were all about it. And the second time I watched it, I remember just going in there thinking, all right, let me just go in there thinking it's an animated Justice League movie wrapped in flesh. And I walked out feeling a little better because I didn't have it tied up with any of the previous movies. I just kind of thought of it like that, and you can enjoy it a lot more.
Right. If you change your perspective, but I mean, you can do that with a lot of movies, though.
Yeah, that's very true. That's what I try to do as well. I mean, for you know, Rampage, for instance, I wasn't trying to go in there trying to watch like another Quiet Place, another Ready One, you know, movies that are like my favorite movies of the year. I wasn't thinking Rampage was going to be my favorite movie of the year, and you know, and you can still enjoy it. I hate it when people just can't enjoy something. You know, you got to be able to not. When you walk in certain movies, you can't just be like, oh, well, that's no Dunkirk, or that's no, you know, this, that, or that. You know? You got to be able to enjoy things on another level, which I think is.
Have you gotten those criticisms? I don't say criticism, but from people who watch your channel, it says, well, how could you like this if you like that?
Exactly. Like, oh no, what are you talking about, Chris? I don't get any of that. Should we talk about the war zones that are our comment sections? Jesus.
Oh my God, where do they come from?
We actually have. I'm looking at the. If you actually go to the video,
I can't even see it.
Oh, well, yeah, go to the. If you actually go to the video,
are they on there?
Yeah, you can see top chat. There's somebody in there. DCU is for stupid kids. This one guy's in there. Butthurt Snyder turds. Yeah, are worse, you know, and stuff like that. Yeah, they come out, you know, it's fine. And, you know, like I tell everybody, hey, they're the one giving us views. That's fine. If they want to keep coming back and making comments, I'm all for it. We get views. That's the way you got to look at it. You know, and I tell people don't feed the trolls, but they're going to do it anyways because you know, we're very knee-jerky nowadays, and I'm trying not to be like that so much because I have been very knee-jerky, and I'll like, you know, somebody with less than 500 followers said, "What about Snyder? Attack!" You know, I try not to do that as much anymore. Yeah, but you know, sometimes it's hard when it's like when they say some really out there stuff. But I know what you're saying about the whole, you know, how could you like this and how can you like that? You know, it's very funny because. You know, I'll praise a Marvel movie. I'll praise an MCU movie. I'll say that I'm looking forward to an MCU movie. Yet Marvel fanboys will still be like, "What the hell is this guy?" I remember there was a comment under my Bill and Ted. It was a Bill and Ted 3 video. It had nothing to do with DC or Marvel. And the first comment I got was, "I want to forget about the bogus journey that was BVS." And I'm going, why?
I'm talking about Bill and Ted. Yeah.
Didn't even mention anything about a person in a cape or tights. Nothing. So it's about Bill and Ted. You know, my channel is called The Film Junkie. It's not Comic Book Junkie. It's not DC Junkie. As much as I love DC and I love comic books, you know, initially I like to just talk about movies.
Right. Yeah.
Just, you know, and then even with like a Star Wars video I did, you know, I saw a comment that said, this DCU turd doesn't need to be talking about Star Wars. He doesn't have any right to talk about Star Wars. Man, what do you what?
Yeah, you can talk whatever you want.
Exactly. You know, that's what this platform is all about. Right. But yeah, it just, you know, sometimes when you look at your video manager and you see like a video that has like 400 comments, you go, uh-oh, what's going on there? And you click it. You click and your screen explodes with just a war zone.
Right. I love to see those chains too, where they're responding to each other and they're just swearing at each other, calling each other cunts and stuff like.
Yeah, Marvel tards, DC.
Oh my God!
Like, can we leave those? Can we leave those out? Can we leave those back in 2017, please? I don't like to hear that. It's pretty crazy, but I don't know. Hopefully people can relax. I don't think that's ever gonna happen, but
that's never.
Do you think like there will ever be like we'll ever have like a calm fandom? Like they'll just be like, everybody would just be like, hey, I didn't like that movie, you did, that's cool, let's discuss it. Do you think that'll ever get to that point?
I don't think it'll ever get to that point. It would have to be something else entirely. Like it's not Marvel, it's not DC, it's not Fox, it's something else entirely. But even then, there will always be that, and you know, we just have to live with that, really.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, I don't try to let it bother me too much.
You can't.
I just look at them like, well, whatever. I don't want to start my day negative. So
no.
Yeah,
you really gotta just. I mean, and I always get mad when celebrities like feed the trolls. You know, oh, so and so fires back, or so and so talks about the backlash. It's like, don't do that. That's exactly what these people want. You know, for the most part. And I always say, like, when it comes to like these issues and problems, even with everything in general, I say, can we work big to small? You know, when it comes to like a lot of negativity and backlash, that's always a small number, and everybody always seems to want to follow like that small number. Well, you got like 90% of the responses to something is usually positive for someone, you know, and
vocal minority. Yeah,
exactly. Like, I'm sure you get a way more positive feedback about your videos and content than you do negative. Yeah, so I'm always like about that. Anytime that someone hits me up on Twitter, it says, "I love your content, love this, that, and this." I always try to respond saying thanks. You know, when it comes to somebody trying to shit all over it, I'm like, I'll either say something snarky and just totally sarcastic back, that totally freezes them up, or I just completely. You know?
Right. See, you're smart enough to do that. I just ignore. I have no snark. I'm like very non-creative.
That's all. That's all. I try. You know, I like to mock a little bit, but I don't want to start like a full-on war. There's been times where I've like engaged on stuff, even with like you know, DC fans, where I've said I've enjoyed something on the Marvel side, and that was a big mistake because, you know, I got a little bit of heat for that, and I just go like, why did I engage that? I should have just left it be. So there's been many times where I try to be like, you know, I'm just like Homer in the fucking bushes, just back up.
Yeah, just let it go.
I don't know.
I'm excited for Infinity War.
Yeah,
we can talk about that. Yeah,
no,
me too.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, it's all led up to this. I mean, I've been trying to do the Infinity War challenge. This is pretty difficult, you know. We're trying to keep up.
What movie are you on now?
Right now, no, the next one is Thor: The Dark World. Oh, that's gonna be the difficult one.
Oh,
yeah. I remember Kat Jennings annoyed the shit out of me when I first watched that movie. I was like, good God.
What's her boyfriend is the dumb one?
Is it?
Isn't she like the guy she hangs out with?
There's like a
interaction is just
like interning or something like that, and she's it's an awful movie. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. Maybe that's why I've been putting it off. But then after that would be Winter Soldier, which of course is, I still think, the best MCU.
Still the best Marvel
really
film. Yeah, me too. I enjoy that. And in fact, actually, the Russo brothers are probably the better directors out of the Marvel universe.
They are. I mean, I know. Civil War was at its base, it's good, but there's sometimes where I just kind of go, I really wish this was more a Captain America movie than actually Avengers 2.5. But you could still enjoy it.
Right. True that. Yeah.
So Infinity War I'm really looking forward to, but Black Panther I enjoyed. I'm sure you did too, right?
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. I did, except for the train fight at the end. But you know,
that was awful. I don't know what they were. To me, in talking with visual effects people in the business, I actually talked to somebody who's a supervisor about that, and he told me that they probably changed that at the last minute. That's why it's so unpolished. Yeah. See, I mean, it's funny too because this is where I could take a stab at the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because they make it seem like they give like their directors a lot of freedom. I don't think they do as much as people might think, and because according to that guy I talked to, he goes, I don't think the reason why they look very rubbery and everything, it's unpolished, is because they changed that scene at the end last minute. So they didn't have enough time to polish it up.
Well, it's a less Ryan Coogler film.
Exactly.
Right? See, if they could do a Creed ending fight in Black Panther. That's what I was
hoping.
What? That would have been.
Instead, we got rhinos fucking charging through the battlefield, and I'm going, what is this, a Jumanji film all of a sudden? It's just, they didn't need the rhinos. They didn't, and then of course the fight at the end was just so dark and so it just didn't really work for me, but hey, it was still successful. It was still something. It was still something different. Mostly the plot was great. The villain was great. It was better. Killmonger. Killmonger was better than most MCU villains out there, because obviously that's what they struggle with.
Right. There's no Heath Ledger though. I mean, I was like,
well, see, that's the thing.
That's not Heath Ledger, but it is good. But I don't want to go that far.
Well, that's the thing. I think the reason why I actually did a video about it shortly after Black Panther came out. because a lot of people were, talking about that, like Heath Ledger, and they're comparing Heath Ledger's Joker to Michael B. Jordan. And I think the reason why that happened was because Michael B. Jordan back in December mentioned that he was trying to look at other villains to, reference, to kind of like take inspirations from. And one of them was Heath Ledger's Joker. So I think a lot of things got taken out of context, as they do in this world. And a lot of people were like, well, and fans were like, oh yeah, he was better than Heath Ledger's Joker, or he was right up there. So big fans were like really building it up to that, and it was like, whoa, no. And I think a lot of people just went a little too crazy with that notion when he himself wasn't trying to say that, oh yeah, I'm totally, Killmonger is totally up there with Heath Ledger's Joker. He was just trying to find inspiration. He even said Michael Fassbender's Magneto.
Oh, so, right.
Yeah, he said that too. So I kind of try to put that to bed, because he's not up there with it's gonna take something truly amazing to beat Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah, that's truly something special.
Yeah,
and that could have been my expectation too. Maybe just seeing those posts and tweets like, "Oh, he's like Heath Ledger," and you know how these critics like to blow it out of proportion, and so you're going in a movie and you come out like, wasn't what they said. So I try to block it out, but it's on the TL, and it's just
it can be difficult because you start hearing someone's, you start getting an idea about something, you go in and then it doesn't live up to that idea, and it sucks when that happens. But it's always great when you hear something like extremely positive. Like, for instance, A Quiet Place that just came out. I've been hearing nothing but great things about it. Just positive. So you go in, and then I came out even more like, wow. I don't know if you did see it, right? Did you see it?
I did see it. Yeah, I did see it. It was really good. Yeah.
Really
very scary. I wouldn't say it's horror scary. Like a lot of horror scaries, I would come out and I generally fear for something later on. Like The Ring, I didn't want to have a TV in my room at that time. When
that little girl
kind of stuff.
When that little girl came out of that TV towards the end, when they actually showed her walking out of the TV, I remember I literally flinched. There's like it wasn't like a jump scare, but the way that they angled it and the way that they shot it where she came out of that TV, I literally went, whoa.
It was just the hair is raising on my, and it's just like I'm chilled to the bone. It didn't need those cheap jump scares to get scared. But I'm actually glad Quiet Place didn't really do cheapy jump scares.
No, they didn't. It's based on sound, but it was all well done, and and Krasinski really treated the characters like as smart people, not dumb people. Like, hey, let's go over into the shed that is wide open and has a bunch of chains and things everywhere that could kill us, while the killer. It wasn't like dumb. They were actually doing things that were smart when it came to trying to get away from these creatures. I mean, when you find out that the wife is pregnant, you go, oh shit.
Yeah,
they have to be quiet. How is that going to work when she gives birth?
Yeah,
and that was truly amazing how they handled all of that. And I was going, wow. Apparently, too, I haven't read it yet, but I saw a post that said John Krasinski explains how they fart in A Quiet Place.
I totally read. When I saw that article, I was like, I totally thought that.
Yeah, it's like, how do they fart? I mean, you really got to
they fart.
Yeah,
you really gotta
you really gotta like sit on a pillow, and you gotta like be sure like you're spread, like your cheeks aren't too close together. And I guess I didn't read it. I should have read. I just saw the post real quick, and I got distracted.
It's similar to what you said.
They
got a pillow,
really
a pillow or something.
Out. You just gotta let it seep out. God.
Yeah, spread your cheeks.
Oh my God, it's that deleted scene. He should just put that. He should just
deleted scene.
He should just make that with like him and his action kids. That's funny stuff, but I see what you're saying. Like, it wasn't like horror. It was more of like
a thriller.
Yeah, that's why when I say it's more of a horror thriller, because it
reminds me of like Signs.
Oh, that's what I said in my review. I said it's like Signs mixed in with what was the other thing I said it was mixed in with? Drawing a blank. Damn. I said it was Signs, and I think I said 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Well, it does feel like a Cloverfield movie.
Dude, I was wondering at the end if that was going to be the case. I started thinking, are they really? Did they really just pull a fast one on us?
Yeah.
And, well, it turns out that wasn't the case. I guess at one point maybe they were considering it.
I think they had an option.
Yeah.
in order to make this movie be bigger than what it is, but I feel it wasn't necessary. Yeah.
I said tremors in science because obviously the creatures.
Oh,
yeah. But of course, not as campy.
That does work.
Yeah. Tremors is just a campy horror movie, which is fantastic. I love that movie. Yeah. But yeah, with A Quiet Place, I mean, just to be able to bring us this movie and have these characters interact with each other without any real dialogue, you know, it's just, that must have been difficult. How do you do that?
It was hard to. Sometimes it was hard to watch because you can hear people crunching, sniffling in the background, and
you don't have to tell me, man. I was there first night, packed house. I mean, the first the opening of the movie is like the first half hour is just dead quiet almost.
Dead quiet.
You're barely hanging because when the suspenseful stuff's happening, you know, there's music and stuff, so you kind of drown it out. But yeah, at first, and you know, this is when everybody's digging into that stupid flimsy fucking cardboard box. It just barely can hold stuff, and they have it on their lap, and they're just digging everything. You get every little breath, every little sipping of the drink, and you know, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle this.
Someone dropped a drink.
Oh, jeez.
Lift up her feet. It was crazy. God. It was, but it was so super quiet.
It was that was the annoying part. But I mean, you're so engaged in the movie though that you start drowning it out yourself. Like, that's what I found myself. Like, I was so into the movie and into the characters, and after, you know, the first opening scene where you get a sense of the world they're living in, that's where I was fully engaged. But anyways, let's get back to the Snyder Cut, buddy, because I know a lot of people want to hear more talking about that. What are your thoughts about it? What have you heard? Anything?
No. I hope to hear more, and I'm always constantly looking on Vero to see what Zack Snyder posting. I know. What is he posting next? And
today he posted that the comic strip or the picture
from BVS.
The baseball bat. Yeah. He posted that, which is not really. I mean, it's cool. I'm sure he has that drawing somewhere in his, you know, in his fucking gym, his warehouse, wherever the hell.
Right.
God, I would love to visit that place. Good Lord.
Oh, it must be packed full with stuff. And I know he's a Star Wars fan too, so it must have some good Star Wars stuff in there too. It must be some kind of museum.
No, it's his own fortress of solitude, man.
Right.
I mean, it was funny because on Vero sometimes I've actually the last weekend I posted, or 2 weekends ago, I'm not sure, I posted like a Zack Snyder workout like picture kind of type, you know, because he'll do that. I posted that, and he actually liked it, which is cool. Cool. You know, which is I told people, I'm like, hey, I'm trying. I summoned my Snyder, my inner Snyder, and I'm hoping that he'll invite me to his gym. But I have a feeling like if that were to happen, he said, come have a workout sesh, I'd probably be too busy going, what's that? No. Oh my God, is that Rorschach's Gatling gun? You know,
but leave your phone on, dude.
Yeah. Right. Oops. Didn't mean to do that.
Put it on the glasses.
Exactly. Like a GoPro, like built into like a special shirt. I'm like, what's my workout shirt? It just makes me look bigger. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That'd
fully worked out.
That'd be amazing, man. I mean, he lives in Pasadena, which is not too far from me. It's about an hour. It's about an hour and 15 minutes from me.
Can you actually drive by and see it, or
I don't even
know the exact location?
I don't know the exact location, but I know of a coffee shop he frequents.
Oh,
yeah, you know, sometimes he posts that he's at a coffee shop. I know.
You could go there, dude. Just hang out there every morning or wherever. You know, look up the time he goes.
I know, right?
That's a little bit like
stalker status.
Total stalker status.
I know. I wish because, you know, sometimes with my job, I have like a work truck, and I have to go and survey places, and I'm like, come on, get me over in Pasadena one of these mornings, so then I could go to that coffee shop and just sit there and just be like, just sipping on my coffee. Just where is he? I probably look like a crazy person.
Person.
Yeah, I know. Like, are you okay, sir? Yes, I'm fine. Zack Snyder, you know him? Does he come here a lot? What's the order?
Yeah.
I want one.
What does he drink?
What is he I'm sure there's a lot of protein in it. He works out a lot.
This note. Can you slip this note next to that coffee cup, please?
Zack Snyder, can you like give this note? Nah, but I mean, it's cool that he. I love how he engages with fans, and you know, the whole Vero thing. It's cool.
Yeah, that is so cool. especially where he interacts with the fans and actually says yes. That whole BVS reference thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that is an encyclopedia of knowledge.
It really
and
is.
That is so cool just to see what we got or what he thinks is actually pretty cool. And
it's pretty amazing how people have spotted certain things, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even realize that. I mean, there's so many there's so many like little hidden things in that movie that people. I mean, you could hate the movie all you want. It's whatever. Right. I don't care, you know. But the fact that they took so much time and put a lot of just effort into just little meanings and how what they were referencing, you know, with biblical stuff. I mean, we got a sense of that with Man of Steel. I mean, he was totally representing Superman as a Jesus figure, 100%.
You can see
it.
Yeah,
you can see it. I mean, but what's great about Superman, you know, and I know, like, you know, like on Comic Book Debate, Shiraz, I always say his name wrong. You know, he wrote the immigrant story. I don't know, you know, right. I'm bad. The immigrant story. Yeah. That's totally fine. I love that people can see a perspective like that. I don't necessarily see him as the immigrant, you know, perception. I'm more of like, I look at him like more the Jesus type, you know, and how I see that. But that's what's so great about Superman. You can look at him like this, you can look at him like that. That's what's great about these characters in general. You know?
Right. Me too. I agree. I mean, I open to anybody's interpretation of any movie. I know there was a Twitter that came out today from Nana Adu or something about someone commented about Infinity War is like a Jesus Christ thing. I don't know. You were tagged on it, I think. But yeah, I think you were. But
I think I lost your audio here, bud. I think I lost your audio. Technical difficulties. I think you have it on mute. Talk. Uh-oh. Did I lose it? Yeah, we're having technical difficulties here, folks. Right now? See, every time you try to start talking, I see like the microphone crossed out. It's you gotta love these live broadcasts, people. Maybe try to come back in again. Like click on the link, like log out and click on the link again. That Hawaii air, it's messing everything up. Yeah, I still can't hear. I don't know if can anybody else hear him? Comment in the chat. Are you guys able to hear him? Because I can't hear him. I don't know what happened. Nope. Yeah, nobody else can hear you right now. Thanks, guys. I would say try to log back, maybe try to log back in or look in your settings. Hit the settings button, make sure your microphone's on there. Well, I'll try to keep the folks entertained. Do a little dance. I don't know. But that's what happens with live broadcast people. You know, sometimes just technology doesn't want to work right. Yeah, it's weird because I could see everything's fine with nope, but every time the microphone goes away, it just doesn't work. It's weird. I would say try to click out of it and try to log back in. See if that helps. Unless I didn't. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, just try to. I would say just click out of it and then click right back in. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. So I don't know why. I still can't hear you. Oh.
Hello?
Oh. Yep, there it is.
Hello?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
I had to switch to a different... Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Very
I don't
strange.
think the microphone's working. I had to turn off this guy.
Really?
But you can still hear me, so you're probably coming from the Logitech camera now.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Interesting. Weird.
Yeah, just like all of a sudden just like gave out. And,
I know.
Yeah, you were just a quiet talking head. Anyways, well, sorry for that, people. That happens. You know, that's what these can. Okay, we can hear Chris. Good. I think we're good now. Zack Snyder should make a Scooby-Doo reboot. Hey, how about that? That'd be interesting. Are you? Uh-oh. I think we lost him again. Are you there? Nope. It's off again. I would say just try to log out maybe or something. I don't know. That'd be interesting to see a Zack Snyder Scooby-Doo movie. That'd be very interesting. Looks like he's trying to do something here. He's working his magic. Other movies that Zack Snyder should... You guys can still hear me, right? Oh, hey, look, it's Black Sabbath 1993. Zack Snyder would have a shot at a rape scene with Wilma. You are deranged there, my friend. I'll give it to you this though, Black Sabbath 1993. You are one of my biggest fans, and I love you. I love you for giving me the views to my video. Just to say, Doom, yeah. Zack Snyder's Spawn movie, that'd be pretty interesting. You do a pretty damn good job with the Spawn movie. Yeah, Lobo. You do good with Lobo. Castlevania, too. When is the Aquaman trailer dropping? Who knows? I would say next month. End of this month or early next month. That's what I would say. Dragon Ball Z. I'll accept no more than a Batman film written and directed by Zack Snyder and Frank Miller. That would be pretty awesome. But, I mean, I think Matt Reeves will do a pretty good job. Yeah, I am the #1 fan. Are you, Nasir? Teen Titans for Zach. Wow, your favorite Marvel character, bro? What? Zack Snyder 2024. Now, you know when Trump's second term is up. Zack Snyder for president. Zack Snyder should direct the Hack Pack with Ayer.
Am I back?
Oh, you got it.
Wow.
You're back.
That's weird. All I had to do was take out the mouse.
Really?
I have no idea.
What? Take out the mouse?
Yeah. It's like it was confusing the USB of the mouse and their microphone.
That is very
weird.
Strange. That is very strange. All right. Well, he's back. So what were we talking about? We're talking about Snyder.
I have no idea, but we can go to the. Is there any questions?
No. We'll get to there.
I could hardly see the.
Well, I mean, are you actually on the video where you could see the live chat?
It's.
If you actually click on the link, stop the video so it doesn't, overcome your audio. But there's a live chat box. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's.
I see it now.
Yeah. A lot of people. We're all just talking about. We're just talking about what Snyder should direct. That's what we were doing. When we were fixing it. So, some people were saying,
or DC movie or
no, just anything really. They were talking. A lot of people were talking about different things, but mainly DC movies. Someone said Dragon Ball Z. I was like,
well, you tried. That's hard.
Yeah. Someone said Doom, Castlevania. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, Doom.
Doom
was even Dwayne the Rock Johnson mentioned that he wasn't. He said that was a stinker.
Did you see Doom reply back?
Yeah, and they said Dwayne.
That was Dwayne.
Yeah. Like, that was good.
Money.
Like, wait a minute, that helped propel your career. You know what? I mean, the movie has its moments. I'll give it that. I mean, overall, it's kind of like whatever. But what do you expect from a Doom movie? I guess.
Right.
I mean, I like the fact when Carl Urban, like, you know, he gets shot up with whatever that steroid juice stuff, and then
they have the whole POV mode.
Yeah, I was like, there you go. That's what I mean.
Maybe people really want POV throughout 2 hours.
Oh, like hardcore Henry.
Hardcore Henry.
Jesus. The only problem with that is it gets annoying after a while. You know, you have to have a good balance, I think. If you're going to try to pull something like that off, like I like Hardcore Henry. It's like one of those movies where it's just an adrenaline rush. Cool. You know, you can just watch it like that. But if, you know, if they really wanted to do something, you know, balance it out, have it partially like that and partially not, I don't know. Because, it was just too much that it was always that. You kind of just like, you get dizzy after a bit, kind of going, all right, can we take a break?
Especially in the theater when it's all black. And you're just like, oh, just close your eyes.
It was pretty difficult. But as for the Snyder Cut, I mean, I know there's a lot of information out there.
What have you heard?
Yeah. Well, I've heard some things. Like I said, you know, it's difficult because, you know, from the people that I've heard things from, sometimes it's like, hey, you got to keep something quiet, but. So I can't say a lot of the things I've heard. I mean, I think I've tried to give out like hints, and I've tried to, you know, point out some things and try to do it in a way. But I mean, to the people that think that his cut doesn't actually exist, I mean, that's hogwash. I mean, it does. It does exist.
It does exist. What version? How finished is it? That's another story.
I mean, there was that whole thing. You know, Jeremy Conrad said, "Oh yeah, it took like $80 million just to complete it, and this, that, and this." It wouldn't take that much. It would take like probably a third or fourth of that to complete it. I don't think there's that much that isn't done with the movie. All I could really, you know, stuff that I've heard recently. I mean, I would say just keep your eyes out. I'd see how can I say stuff without it? I would say just keep your eyes peeled. I know there's certain things that he wants to do with it. Somebody's not happy in your background.
Yeah, that's my kid. 16 months old.
She wants the Snyder Cut too, right? He.
Yeah, he. They're all boys. All young boys.
Lucky you. I'm sure your wife really loved that. Huh?
They're rascals. They're jumping around and everything.
Yeah. You should record them saying release the Snyder Cut. That'd be cute.
Oh yeah.
You should put that on your Vero. He'd probably love that. He'd probably hit the like button on that. I mean, I think with the way he's being vocal on Vero, and for a while there he was posting like images, straight out images that were deleted from the movie. I mean, he could
use those. He's like not legally binding, or they're not stopping him. They're like, he's just releasing stuff.
Exactly. They can't get him for that. Those are his pictures, like that he took
from his Lennox camera.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I mean, and I know that he can't go that far with certain things. I guess Fiona, you know, with the release of Snyder Cut website, she mentioned last night on Twitter that he can't engage with that site. I guess he I don't know, he's not legally obligated where he can or something like that. She said she wanted to change the name so that way it doesn't have Snyder Cut in it or anything. Yeah, so I guess he does have a limit. He does have a limit.
Right.
But so and it's just funny because if he has, and I'm gonna say he has the movie. Say he has the movie. Full cut, you know, and you know, all in its possibly 3.5 hour long glory. That he has a cut. Say he does, but what can he do with it? You know, it's still Warner Brothers property. You know, even though it's his movie, he shot it. This is his cut. It's still up to Warner Brothers to actually get it out there. You know, and I keep on going. Okay, say that there's something footage or like more shots out there, especially footage. If he were to try to release some footage, he would have to do it in such a way where it didn't look like it came from him. You know? It would have to be leaked out. I mean, and that's happened with other things before. I mean, we had that Dark Side storybook or the storyboard.
His own drawing.
He didn't. It wasn't saying that it came from Snyder. He didn't post it.
No,
it just leaked out. But you know, where did it leak out? It just kind of just showed up, and all of a sudden, it just made the rounds, and it blew up for that day, and everybody went, "Oh, Dark Side!" everybody cried because we could have saw Darkseid in a goddamn live action movie.
I know, and they're gonna make new gods anyway. So it's like,
and I'm worried about that movie, even though because it's just like that's what he was setting the table for that, and now it's just kind of like now it's just gonna be a New Gods movie, and who knows what kind of tone it's gonna have, what the heck. I don't know. Hopefully, Ava, DuVernay, she could wow me. But right now, after seeing Wrinkle in Time, I'm kind of not on board fully.
Not really on board, huh?
Yeah,
I still haven't watched it. No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's just
that's why I can't comment on it. I don't know. I've never
exactly. Well, that's good. I'm glad you could actually say that because I got in debates with people who didn't see Wrinkle in Time, but they're sitting there blowing up saying this is the best choice ever. I'm going, you're just basing it on Selma. Selma is a biopic, a contained biopic. It was really good, but that's a whole different fucking thing. It's a whole different world, you can't.
Right.
And she dipped into the blockbuster threshold. She got into there, and it just it didn't work. The movie bombed, and a lot of critics didn't like it. And I didn't. I thought it was pretty bad. It was cringy and bad. It wasn't well made. It wasn't like a clear. It wasn't like a clear tone that she was trying to give to us. It just was.
So the people who liked the books actually liked her interpretation of it.
Really?
Did she actually? Well, did she? I don't know.
No, I don't
I'm
think
not sure.
they did. I remember reading that some people were like, "Oh yeah, this was left out." No, I didn't like this part of this. So yeah, and the box office numbers kind of speak for themselves. Nobody really came out to watch it. It didn't do well. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I don't know.
But when it comes to this,
I have hope.
Yeah,
I have hopes. High hopes. I feel like it is coming, and Fiona seems to really think so.
Yeah, I've talked to her about I kind of see what she knows, and I know Snyder engages with her a lot more. I mean, I sent Snyder a private message on Vero just to see if he would respond. He didn't, but he does like pretty much all the pictures that I post. So I'll see a like. It's sad that I always keep on looking just to see if he likes the picture.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's
Jesus
so cool,
Christ.
Yeah. That is so cool to have that.
Cool. And then he's commented on certain things too. It is cool. But he never responded to that private message, and it wasn't like oh my God, does the Snyder Cut exist? What that? I didn't do any of that.
I don't think he can say it. Yeah, I don't think he wants to say it. Yeah,
he wouldn't be.
Yeah,
able
he can't
to
do
say
anything.
No, I just put I'm a fan of yours. Been a fan of yours since Dawn of the Dead. Because I loved that remake. I thought that was really well done. But that was before I knew. That was his first movie, so nobody knew his name. It was after 300.
I didn't know either.
Yeah, it was after 300 that he started becoming a name.
Exactly.
But I just said that, and I said hey, you got my support, and all your fans have your support. Keep up the good work, blah blah blah. That was just pretty much it. That was the extent of it. It wasn't, it wasn't anything like I love you, even though Zaddy. I do. Yeah.
Zaddy, don't you have a shirt?
Oh God, did you just say Zaddy? Oh no.
I knew that would get you.
Oh man, God, when I see that, I just my butthole just goes.
Yeah.
Go, why do you guys?
That's how long I've been following you.
Yeah, I know. And a lot of people like to troll me with that too. When I say Zaddy, and I'm like, I'm like, why are you guys saying that? You guys are dudes, like mid-20s dudes calling somebody Zaddy. And I know sometimes they're just doing that just to be funny.
Yeah,
I get it, and that's fine. I'm not gonna tell you not to say it. I'm just like, don't expect me to say it. That's all.
Yeah.
And if I do say it, it's going to be very sarcastic.
It's a sarcastic manner, right?
Anyways, but when it comes to the Snyder Cut, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with it. Stuff I've heard maybe there might be more talk about it this month.
You think? I know a lot of people ask me this question. It's hard for me to answer about the whole, because it's making money in the Blu-ray sales and stuff like that, and Warner Brothers are looking at that, and I'm like, yeah, that could be it. Yeah. Although, you and I haven't really supported that physical copy, but and there's the other route where it's just hard to really know what it's in their mind. Like, I think I've heard from somebody, I forgot his name on Twitter, starts with a G, I forget, that they've been working on it before the movie came out. And they're still making it. Like there was that lead cut where Cyborg was walking, or the whole entire team was walking past Shoot, now my mind's drawing me a blank. In the Batcave.
Oh yeah.
Jeremy, yeah. So Jeremy Irons. So they walk past him, and they noticed that it looks like they were working on the CG aspect of Cyborg.
Yeah, because there was a watermark on it that showed.
Right.
I forgot the visual effects company that was working on it. And
they were doing takedowns of that. Yeah, and they're doing takedowns.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to these movies, I mean, they have multiple companies that work on these. You know, this company will do this. You know, this whole sequence, and this company will do this. You know, I know that happens. You know, they'll divide it out sometimes, and you know, it makes you wonder. You know, because back in November, they, you know, Ancient Ascended, or whatever the heck that channel was, on Vimeo, or whatever the hell, Vimeo. You know, they released all those cut scenes that were, some of it was finished, some of it was not. You know, and it just makes you wonder. It's like, okay, I mean, this stuff is out there. I mean, to say that a Snyder Cut doesn't exist is just you're dumb. You're dumb if you think a Snyder Cut doesn't exist.
I totally write that off already.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's so much evidence. I mean, you did a video on the timeline. I did a video on the timeline. It all checks out where, you know, before he was let go, I mean, he didn't just walk away. I mean, this is a man, even though he went through tragedy and everything, he still wanted to get his work done. He tried to lose himself within it. And when the company was totally trying to change his vision and bring in Joss Whedon, he said, fuck this. I'm not going to deal with this, you know, especially since what I've been through this year. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, you know? He got cornered. I mean, anybody like that would probably like, you know what, I'm done. You know, it changed from part 1 and part 2 to just part 1. And then, oh, here, add this, add that. You know, David Ayer also got the same treatment. It's like,
well, he also got it.
I'd be tired too.
He got in Batman vs Superman. I mean, that theatrical cut. That theatrical cut wasn't his cut. Hell, not even the ultimate cut was his cut. I mean, I've heard things that his cut was actually over 3 hours. His cut was like 3 hours and 20 minutes.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. What I've heard.
You know, I've heard that his original cut. I mean, obviously there was like the whole 4-hour cut, but usually that could just be like the very first, like, okay, this is everything put together. Okay, now let's start trimming the fat, start taking out things that don't work. And I heard that his actual full-on cut was like 3 hours and 15 to 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Loved to see that.
Exactly.
I would have loved to see that.
God. Especially if there's that scene that I heard where, like, Superman to try to find his mom, he actually flies up and tries to listen for her, but all he hears is all the bad shit.
Yeah,
I want to see that scene. My God, they had a scene like that in Superman Returns, where Superman is like floating above and he's listening to everything, and you could hear a lot of things. It doesn't sound that bad, but he hears a lot of things, and all of a sudden he zeroes in on one thing and he flies to it.
Yeah, he's choosing what to do. Yeah, he's choosing what to save. Yeah.
But the fact that it would have actually given the story of, well, okay, well, why didn't Superman just go fly and save his like it would have been easier, because Batman had to like literally go there, jump through a window, kick 24 people's asses, and almost get killed saving, when Superman could have just easily did it. But then it's like, well, he couldn't zero in, you know, and that would have showed why. And it's like, and obviously with Batman having the technology and everything that he has to find people, he's like, you know what, I'm going to do it. You take care of this. But just, I'm hoping that, I mean, who knows if we'd actually get a full-on director's cut of BVS, but I'm wondering if that scene, if that's actually true, and that actually was in
They actually shot it and stuff?
Yeah, well, I'm sure they shot something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, because they were on a set. I mean, I think when I remember having a debate with my friends. They were like, that's too dark. He's, you know, how is he supposed to save everybody? It's a realistic take.
Oh my God.
And him trying to find his mother, that's really impactful, especially when you get back to Man of Steel, where she says, try to hone your senses and stuff like that. That is, and when he was flying away from Lois, he says, you know, what does he say? It's not all good. Not all good people are in the world. So it's like, that makes that
not
much more, a lot more sense. Stays good in the world.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot more sense.
I know. I get tired of the whole, like, oh, he's emo Superman. I'm like, no, this is just a Superman that would, you know, how would the world react to this Superman? You know,
the world is true.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's what I love. That's what I love about this interpretation of Superman is because, you know, I mean, obviously you got your comic book stuff, which Snyder's really good at, especially his visuals. He's so visual. He could just totally frame like a, you know, something right out of the book, you know, right out of the comic book panel. He'll put life to it. But to be able to tell a story that people are going to relate to and people are going to be like, oh yeah, to today's world, that's the challenge. And that's what you have. And that's what I think you have to inject into a Superman story, because yes, you can have all the, you know, he's lifting up cars, he's saving people from high, you know, from high above and blah, blah, blah. But this is a character. I mean, I've had debates with other comic book lovers like, oh yeah, Superman's too perfect. He could do anything. And then all, you know, the only thing that fucks him up is a green rock. And it's like, yeah, okay, so here's a somebody who wanted to show a Superman being you know, revealing himself to this world that is divided politically, divided, you know, all kinds up and down. There's so many things.
So many layers. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So when an alien comes down who could basically wipe out everybody, he could if he wanted to. Obviously, there's going to be people that are afraid of that, and there's going to be people that are looking at him like, oh my God, it's the second coming. And I love that they tackled that, because you see that with people, and then specifically you see that with Batman. The fact that he's like, you know what, this guy could fuck us all up. You know what, I'm going to take him out before he loses his mind. You know,
Bruce and Lex represented the worst of humanity, what they would do in an answer to an alien from another planet. You know, a lot of people who watch BBC, even my friends, I don't know if you're watching, but they're like, that's not what Superman would do. That's not what Batman would do when things. Well, that may be what they do in this world. You know, you have to look at it like plainly and factual ways and how we would interpret that. And I think adding like Neil deGrasse Tyson and all these different figures in that scene, that is a perfect way to tell a story on how Earth would actually, this Earth would react to someone like that coming down. And that's why I love Batman v Superman, because it's not afraid to ask those questions.
Exactly. And, you know, and
they're afraid to ask those questions.
Yeah, they're not afraid to ask those questions because, you know, and then it showed us that. And then you can have, and then you can go to the other side with Civil War. I think they were in a way trying to attempt to kind of show that, like, how are these superheroes impacting this world? You know, we got to hold them accountable. But I don't know if they necessarily
did a good
job of really representing that in Civil War.
Right.
And, you know, maybe down the line they can go by how the book goes, you know, the Civil War book, and how that, you know, how they want the superheroes to reveal their identities and this, because you couldn't really do that in the movie because most of them don't even have masks anyways. You know.
Yeah. So they don't have the secret identity issues.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the big part of the Civil War whole thing, you know.
Right.
Them revealing themselves to the world.
Yeah.
And I like that, but they didn't really tackle that in Civil War. That was more just like, hey, look at all the superheroes. They're fighting each other, even though they're not going to kill each other. It's not really like, you know, fight to the death kind of thing.
No.
But when it came to Batman vs Superman, it was like Batman was going to fucking kill Superman. He had him under his boot. He had the spear about ready to just fucking kill him. In his mind, he goes, you are a threat to this world.
Right.
Like, yes, you might be doing good things, but the minute that you decide that this world, because he knows, see, that's another thing. It's like Batman has been around for 20 years. And like he said, you know, you pull one weed up, another one grows in its place, talking about criminals.
Yeah.
And he knows like this world is fucked up. What if this alien being who has all this power just realizes he can't change this world, he can't save the world. I'm going to snap and take everybody out. That was running in Batman's brain. Like, before
this
you
is the Batman at the end of his career.
Exactly.
This was the Dark Knight Returns Batman.
Yes,
this is not
essentially, yes.
Yeah. So that's where they was going to take it.
Exactly. So he was going to do it. But then all of a sudden, you know, after, you know, the Martha thing, you know, hearing the, you know, all that, and it just kind of triggered something. Then it was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should give this guy a chance. I don't know. And you try to explain that to people, and they still go, no, man, you wouldn't do that. I'm like, yes, he would. Watch Dark Knight Returns or read Dark Knight, you know.
And I think they're coming in. They're like, we want world's finest, and Batman would do that to Superman. This Batman doesn't know Superman. He hasn't watched the Tim Burton Batman movies. Okay,
I know, right? Jesus,
he's not looking at this guy. This is Christopher Reeve Superman. I shouldn't kill him. No, he's like
he's all looking down. I don't see any red trunks. What's going on? No, this is not that guy. He's not. He has his undies on the inside.
Right. I know. It's so strange.
It's difficult.
They can't separate that. Yeah.
And see, I think that's why Marvel, I think, can get away with things like, if it was reversed and people knew of Captain America and Iron Man for so long, and they're the general public knew of those guys more than they knew Batman and Superman. If they adapted Civil War the way that they did, there would be more hell. There'd be more backlash. Because, people would be like, oh, yeah, Tony wouldn't do that, or Steve wouldn't do that. They'd be saying a lot of that.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, and I don't care what anybody says, Batman and Superman are just, when it comes to the general public, and I'm not talking about comic book readers, but even comic book readers, I mean, you just know those characters more. You've seen them more. There's been more movies. There's been more everything with those characters. So people recognize those characters, and they think that, those characters should be like this.
Right.
So then
their own expectations. They bring their own expectations to the board. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. And they're caught up in nostalgia. See, Marvel can get away with not being caught up in nostalgia because what did they have before? They had an Incredible Hulk series with Lou Ferrigno that used to scare the shit out of me.
Hulk is Hulk. Hulk's gonna smash. That's all. That's all characterization is gonna have.
Exactly. That show scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. I couldn't watch it. When he get all, I get scared. I had a fear, Chris. I had a fear of people changing into things. I even the other day, went on Twitter, somebody asked, what was the stupidest thing that you believed as a kid? And I said, I believe Michael Jackson was a werewolf. I did. The Thriller video.
The Thriller was actually kind of scary for me.
Dude, scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. I mean, this is in the 80s. I mean, we're both children of the 80s, right?
Yep.
And that was a big, huge video in the 80s. It scared the shit out of me. So
I thought he was,
Yeah, I mean, it's a great video. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But when it came to like Lou Ferrigno, or the Hulk, and turning into Lou Ferrigno, big and stuff, it used to scare the shit out of me. I think I had a real big problem with metamorphosis kind of thing when I was a kid.
Oh, okay, okay.
But back to my point is, there wasn't anything to go back on. When we got Iron Man, and they nailed it. They nailed Iron Man.
Right.
But at the same time, they had nothing before it. So it was
nothing to compare it to.
Exactly.
In terms, for a lot of people, Iron Man was the first time they've seen Iron Man.
Exactly. They didn't know who this guy was. And Marvel took a big, huge risk on hey, let's do Iron Man first. That was a big risk that they took, and they nailed it. It worked out because obviously we're 20 films later, and we're getting this big, huge one with a bunch of characters.
Yeah.
But I think that's why, I think say there wasn't no real versions of Superman and Batman beforehand, people just knew the characters. I think Batman vs. Superman would probably be a little more welcomed. But who knows? No,
I agree with you. I agree with you. I think Iron Man right now is Robert Downey Jr. That's the Christopher Reeve Superman.
Oh yeah, pretty much. It's gonna be.
He's continuing on.
Just imagine when your kids are like our age. What's going to happen? With that version of Iron Man, there's going to be backlash. Like, no, that's not my Iron Man. Not my Iron Man. Can you wait till you? Get that?
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, we're gonna be old and decrepit. Like, see,
I know. See, I saved this video just for this occasion.
Yeah.
Dad, we're not on YouTube anymore.
Oh. Exactly. Oh yeah, it's gonna be something entirely. I can't even imagine what's gonna be like.
I don't even know what it is. I have no idea.
Yeah, whatever. We'll just roll with it, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's the problem. Is I mean, if you didn't look at it with all that nostalgia before it, with all what's been before, if you look at Batman vs. Superman, even Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman as one big story of Superman, it's so fucking good. It's so good.
Yeah, I wish it ended.
Yeah, I know.
Wish we got the third one.
God, man, I tell you,
we got the gist of the third one.
We did, and then hearing stuff that, and seeing stuff. I mean, it was going to be a complete. What's funny? And I was telling this with somebody too, is because obviously we were going to get a Justice League Part 2. And Snyder already hinted, that somebody is probably going to die in that movie. And I'm telling you 100% it was going to be Batman. There's no way that it wasn't going to be Batman that was going to die.
I agree.
In a second. And if you think about it, and this is what would have been so goddamn brilliant, is the fact that you have Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and Justice League. That is a Superman trilogy. Then we have also a second trilogy, which is Batman vs Superman, Justice League Part 2. That is a Batman
trilogy.
Yes. We would have had 4 movies with 2 trilogies combined into one.
Yes. And you know what? I agree with that. I mean, if you think about Ben Affleck, when he first came on, Zack Snyder gave him that idea. Oh, that's brilliant. It's finite. I'm old. I'm at the end of my game. This is a different Batman we've never seen before. And it would have ended him. It would have ended. He would have self-sacrificed. That was it. So it was a finite universe. And I agree with you. He would have died. Who's the other person? Would have been Lois? You think? You probably.
Or Lex.
Or Lex, someone, you're right, Lex. Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah,
you know.
So I think he already had in mind a Flashpoint type, not Flashpoint, but they had the leading to it, where they had Flash from another dimension or from the future Flash, and he says that, you know. So, man, that would have been something.
Oh, it would have been beautiful. Would have been beautiful, and it sucks too, because what I said recently as well is like, I think. If they would have just let, you know, after everything that was happening behind the scenes, they might as well just let Snyder release his cut. And I mean, I know there was a lot writing on it, and I know like a lot of things. Some people were turned off by the whole idea because of Batman vs Superman and what, Superman's dead, fuck this. You know, I know that had somewhat of an impact, but I think there was like a little bit of a paradigm shift with Logan. You know, some people were wanting, hey, I want something more serious. Yeah, the Marvel stuff is good. You know, I'll flock to that. But the fact that Logan, a character that's been around for 16 years, that's been PG, and in these team-up movies mainly, to take it in an entirely different direction, R-rated, grounded, you know, just gritty as all hell. A lot of gore and death and everything like that, and people enjoyed the absolute shit out of it. I think people are like, you know what? I want some more of this. Can we get some more of this? So I think if they would have, I think critics would have been a lot more nicer, possibly. Maybe not the blogger critics, the blogger assholes. That's one thing, because those guys, for some reason, they just think like Snyder goes around kicking puppies or something like that. I don't know what the hell.
They're judging the movie on the director, not.
You know. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't understand it, but I think actual critics would have been like, you know what, this is actually a good, unique team up film. You know, and I think it would have been a little bit more accepted this time around, more than Batman vs Superman, even. Right,
with the whole Justice League, because it was coming together anyway.
Yeah,
it was going to be a lighter in way. Like it would have been. It is a Justice League movie.
Yeah,
it's not another versus movie. It was going to come that way anyway. It's just not the light, washed out jokiness that they've wanted to see from Marvel, you know, like from,
and it's and it's just it's like we can have both, you know. We don't have to have,
we don't have to chase their tail. They're doing their thing, it's working for them. Don't be the same thing. You diversify yourself out and be another type of comic book movie that people can look forward to.
Exactly. I mean, and you know, I mean, when Man of Steel came about, I mean, they wanted a Dark Knight for Man of Steel. They wanted a Christopher Nolan Superman movie, but because obviously, you know, The Dark Knight did so well, and I think a lot of people, you know, they harken back to that way too much too. You know, with Nolan's Batman. It's like, yeah, it was really good. He did that really well, but you know, this isn't even different. It seems like Snyder took the idea, like you said, at the, you know, Dark Knight Returns Batman. You know, he kind of took that idea, this older Batman who's worn out, just seen all the shit, just, you know, was almost just pretty much given up on humanity. He took that idea and put it over here where there's Superman. You know, there's no way in hell that you can have Christian Bale's Batman have a Superman, because the way that Christopher Nolan did it, he was all, no, this is reality. There's nothing crazy about all this, no magic, no aliens, nothing. You Couldn't have that.
He died like just like that.
Exactly.
The way he fights so fast.
Exactly. You'd be done.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, but let's take that initial idea that Nolan had for this Batman and let's put it over here where he can exist with a Superman and a Wonder Woman and a Flash.
Right.
And and then all of a sudden Whedon comes in and puts a fucking smile on his face.
Yeah, totally changed that. I mean, Batman was not. I mean, you can tell the scenes where Ben Affleck, BVS Batman was in, like the end where his voice was a little bit deeper and talked about I bought the bank. You know, he says, "Oh, that's totally."
You know, that was 100%. Like, look at that. That's them right there. They're moving stuff. And Bruce is still kind of dressed up really nice, very Bruce-like. And you had Clark, you know, in his flannel jacket with the jeans and everything. It's like, that's the characters.
That's him,
but Zack Snyder doesn't know the characters. He doesn't follow the source material. I don't know if you knew this, Chris, but apparently he doesn't follow the source material.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Can you believe that? Yeah. He's such a hack, right?
Yeah.
Right, guys?
Yeah. I guess we don't know either.
Anyways, when it comes to the Snyder Cut, I would say, you know, I can't say everything that I've heard. But, you know, just keep the eyes peeled. I've heard something about this month of certain something. So we'll see. And I wish I could say more, but it's just when I've
heard... going to shut us down now? Is this going to turn off anytime?
Like, stop. All of a sudden, my door is going to get
DMC
right? I'm going to be
Dave, where'd you go? I'm safe in Hawaii now.
I know you are. You're on that island. You know what? My dad actually lived there for a bit.
Oh, really? Which part?
You lived in the main island, close to Honolulu. I forgot what it was.
Oahu?
It was Oahu.
City. Yeah.
I forgot what
that's where I live.
Town. Yeah, I forgot where his town was called. It started with a K. I know that, but I know like they only have like 2 letters in the alphabet over there. So everything's
2 letters. Kaimuki.
Everything's
just like
there's only like 12 letters in the alphabet over there or something like that, right? That they named things. How long have you lived there?
All my life.
All your life.
Here.
Wow.
Yeah, I was born here.
You're a native.
Man. Yeah. Well.
Kind of.
It's weird because when I grew up, I don't know how. Maybe I learned my English differently.
Yeah.
I don't sound like a local. A lot of people say when I'm talking English, I sound like I should be in California.
You sound like a city boy.
Really? Like a city boy or something? And it's weird. I was like, okay. Yeah.
Well, you're very well spoken, like I said. You know, you got a smooth voice.
Yeah.
Soothing.
Thanks.
Not whiny. Don't listen to those guys. I don't think. Maybe just a little. Just kidding. No.
Anyways. Wow, the chat board, like a mix of.
Yeah, of course it's been.
Yeah.
But let's answer some questions here. Let's get to the question part. I think we talked about enough stuff and with the Snyder Cut and everything, and I kind of went over a lot of the things that I wanted to go over with you. But back to the Hawaii stuff. Yeah, I went there twice. You know, visited him. Really nice. Yeah. Really expensive though. I don't know how you pull that off. It's expensive over there.
It is expensive.
Yeah.
I think. Well, I was fortunate to own a house and rent that house out.
Oh, okay.
So I guess I'm fortunate that way.
That is fortunate.
Yeah.
Especially over there. That's but it's beautiful. It's when you get on when you're on Hawaii, you don't think you're on an island until you actually remember that you are. You know, because you got freeways, you got bad spots too. Yeah, it's all there. You look, you know, you're driving on the freeway, you look out, you see some, you know, ghetto-ish areas, rundown areas, you know. It's very
city-like.
Yeah. It's not cities. All
we have buildings.
It's not all, you know, tropical and all perfect and like you see in the commercials, like, you know.
No, I hardly go to the beach. I hardly.
The thing is, though, your beaches are way better than the beaches in California. My God.
I've seen your beaches.
When I went there the first time I went there, and I went to I think we went to Waikiki. Yeah, Waikiki. Yeah. I mean, the sand is just like, it looks like snow. You could see your feet when you get into the water. It's all blue everywhere. Perfect. And then I go to the beach. I come back and I go to the beach over here. The sand is all nice and shit brown almost, and it's got like glass in it.
When I went there, it was like,
you can't see your feet.
I'm like, why is it gray?
You can't see in the distance, and when you can't see in the distance, you see an oil refinery. There's a power plant over there. Woo!
Yeah. Wow.
In this, maybe I'll come out of the water with some fucking wings on or something like that with all the crap they put in there. So,
dude, if you ever come down, let me know. I'll take you to some better nice beaches because the Waikiki beaches are actually fake.
Really?
That's fake sand, man.
That's why it was
because, Waikiki, Ala Moana used to be swamp. It was all swampland. That's all man-made.
Oh man, that's why it's so perfect.
Yeah,
we went to some cove too that we actually had to pay to get into. I forgot what it was called. There was like a specific cove that we went snorkeling. It was some, I don't know if Sharks Cove. Was there actually sharks in there? Jesus Christ, scared the shit out of me.
Hammerheads.
Dude, fuck that.
Yeah,
it was some cove. I forgot what it was called, but we had to pay to get in, and then we were just snorkeling. It was beautiful.
Oh, Hanuma Bay.
I think it might have been
Bay. You can snorkel there. You pay to get in.
Yeah, I think it was that. I think it might have been. Sounds familiar. Yeah, me and my dad went there, and we got a lot of we had the underwater camera and everything.
Cool! You did all that touristy stuff.
Of course.
Yeah,
he wanted to show me a good time, and he doesn't. He was in the military at the time, so he was just stationed there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he didn't do all that shit. Him and my stepmom, they didn't really do stuff like that. I mean, they did. They went to luau's and stuff, but they didn't do the touristy stuff. So when I came to visit, he was all right. Let's do the touristy stuff.
Yeah.
So we did all that and
Pearl Harbor.
Oh yeah. Walked across the Arizona or whatever.
Yeah, Arizona Memorial.
Still oil coming out of that son of a bitch. Jeez.
I know.
You look, you see the oil spots. Yeah, you see like little oil spots that are still leaking. You're like, God, there's like bodies down there. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I visited all that. Anyways, let's answer some questions from the peeps here. Like I said, if you guys want to ask any questions when it comes to the podcast, just use the Film Junket podcast hashtag. So here we go. Brad Curran asks. He actually asks you, Chris. He says, "Hey, Nexus Pong, a fellow named Paolo. I can never. God, I'm so bad with names. Palolo. Yeah. Eduardo. His name is Paulo Eduardo.
Pablo. Okay.
Paulo. Paulo.
Paulo. Okay.
Eduardo has been commenting a lot on your videos on Justice League and the SC. I don't know what. Oh, Snyder Cut. Yeah. Thoughts? I guess he's actually sent me some screenshots from this too.
What is that?
There's a guy named Paulo Eduardo who's been commenting on your videos.
I know I get so many comments. It's hard to look through them.
Apparently he's been saying stuff about. I can actually pull up. Let me pull up something here because Brad actually he sent me these screenshots. If I can get out of this.
I know someone sent me something about right at the statue where it's a black foot, boot, but. I mean, to me, looking at the behind the scenes, that's actually still the statue. It's not actually.
Yeah, like for instance.
I don't know who that was though. I forgot who posted that.
Yeah, for instance, somebody left a comment that said, "So far, there is no news about this situation. Ben Affleck is still on board playing as Batman. Yeah. There was a shaky situation because the way Justice League was handled, but with Hamada and Snyder back on track, the peace did return to Ben Affleck and DC. So just stuff like that."
The whole thing about Hamada, though, I am optimistic, but I don't really know what he's actually putting his hands in.
Exactly.
Because from as far as I know, Aquaman, of course, has been in production and almost done. Mm-hmm. Shazam and Wonder Woman 2 were already on the board with John Berg as the DC Films president. So it's like, what is Hamada actually doing? And I don't know, but it's
sounds like it's cleaning.
It's hard to it's very hard for me to jump the gun and say he's changing things where we don't actually see anything.
Well, I mean, we're just getting fed little tidbits of whatnots. You know? As we love to believe that he. As much as we love to believe that he kicked in the doors and walked in and said, "You're out, fuck you."
It's fun to say that. Yes, yeah.
And then there was also I heard a rumor that Hamada actually watched the Snyder Cut and loved it and wants him to come back and finish it. But I'm like, oh man, that might be a little far fetched.
I hope that is true.
Yeah, that would be nice. It's true.
But seeing that he came from New Line Cinema, I think New Line Cinema, in a way, is having a big effect on Warner Brothers in their and how they're making movies, and it's getting really. I don't know if it's more profitable or more successful. I want to tread that line carefully because people are going to throw at me with box office numbers. But in terms of publicity, I guess you'd say with it. I don't know how Rampage is doing. Rampage, I was surprised when I watched Rampage. It's had New Line Cinema too.
Oh yeah.
That's Warner Brothers New Line Cinema. So
saw that too.
That dual type of production maybe is having a good effect.
It could.
It could. I don't know.
Yeah, it's difficult to see, like, you know, like what exactly is he doing? You know, I mean, as far as I could tell, maybe he's helping, like, hey, let's get this person right here. Let's move this person away from here.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I mean, who knows? I mean, Jeff Johns changing his Facebook banner to the Hulk almost was kind of.
What is that?
Yeah.
I was wondering.
He's just not good with the movies, man. I mean, I'm not fully on the Jeff Johns hate train, you know, but you know, I did hear some things too about him behind the scenes, and it was it was almost like he was trying to be the next Kevin Feige, and it didn't work out for him, you know, obviously. Yeah. And it just kind of just showed, like, you know, a lot of decisions that were made, you know, he helped make them. I'm not saying that he completely sucks. He's a great writer. He's written some really good books in the world. You know, he's really good with Green Lantern. He's done some Flash stuff, and, you know, he's just done a lot of good stuff in books. But when it comes to movies, his track record's not that great.
Yeah. And he's part of the, I believe he was also part of the cutting crew. Washing it out, making it brighter. I mean, there's ways to make a movie brighter without actually having to make the colors brighter, you know. Exactly. And I feel like it doesn't have to be a certain aesthetic.
And I think we were gonna get that. I mean, if you look at that deleted Superman scene, I mean, you know, Superman smiling.
He was smiling. Master Kent, come on, man.
Oh God,
like, what cut that out?
It's terrible.
I don't know.
Anyways,
but I'm still thinking about. But real quick before the next question is that I in the back of my head, I'm still thinking they plan to double dip anyway.
Do you think so?
I feel like the amount of deleted scenes, they're just giving you 2 minutes of a deleted scene that no one has ever seen, but they're keeping everything away. I mean, it's for DVDs. Usually, I see more deleted scenes in the thing, so it's like I wonder what that's about. So I don't know. That's just. I mean,
pretty much.
I don't know anything, but
to me, it sounds like they deleted like a whole movie, pretty much. I mean, I think even Jason Momoa, I think, even said that too.
Yeah.
You know, basically, it should have been 2 movies, and they pretty much deleted. Well, they deleted all his like backstory and a lot of his characters. So, anyways, Nasir, Aldaje. I always say your name wrong. Sorry, buddy. Hey, Dave. Since most of the Spider-Man sequels will be shot in Europe, any ideas for possible storylines that could adapt? Cheers. Spider-Man, what are your thoughts on the sequel?
Europe, man. They could shoot anywhere and anywhere as long as they get their tax.
Exactly.
You know? It doesn't matter where.
They're going for the cheaper cost. It probably costs a shit ton to shoot in New York.
Right, you're getting their tax credits. That's why they're shooting certain places. So
you only do the external shots, and even external shots are not necessarily in New York. Sometimes it's on a set somewhere, and don't matter.
Right, so, man. I don't know. I hope they do like Mysterio. I've never seen a Mysterio. Before.
There hasn't been really. They haven't really given any anything about like who the.
They haven't. Right? Yeah, they haven't.
Yeah.
Are they waiting for Venom first?
I wonder. See, a lot of people are wondering, are we going to get a crossover? I've heard yes, and I've heard no. I've heard that no, it's not attached to the MCU, and I've also heard that it is attached to the MCU.
Wasn't there behind the scenes shots of Tom Holland on set?
That's what they said, but who knows?
I haven't seen it.
There was no pictures, no nothing.
There's no pictures. Oh, okay.
It was a rumor. There was actually no pictures about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's also up there. You know what? It would be. I wouldn't hate it because having a Venom without a Spider-Man, it's kind of weird. But I mean,
it's kind of weird.
It is weird because I mean, I mean, the initial story of all that starts with Spider-Man.
Right.
But I know there's different variations of Venom that are out there, so obviously they could take from those. But I mean, it would just
they had that theory about Infinity War is partial Secret Wars.
Oh yeah.
And so that's why they get the symbiote and I don't know.
That's true. That's true. And
but I don't know.
Avengers 4, they're still keeping that title under wraps because apparently it'll spoil.
It's a spoil.
Yeah, I wonder, like, something weird's gonna happen in Infinity War at the final battle. Something crazy is gonna happen where, there's gonna be like just something astronomical is gonna happen, and it's gonna have to do with Doctor Strange and everybody just pulling in their power, and then all of a sudden the whole timeline just rips apart. And something I don't know.
I mean, let's talk about like my friend and I have been theorizing, and people hate this. For someone's like, we say he's gonna do the snap.
Oh yeah.
Gets all the gems, snap, ends the universe and stuff. But I've heard from Fiona actually posted something about Infinity War today.
Did she?
She did. Yeah, she said that her Chinese. Someone who in the production who's seen the whole film, they screened in China, and apparently, I don't know if I should say it.
Yeah, is it a spoiler?
I don't want. Yeah, I might be treading on spoilers, but it is interesting to check it out. Yeah,
maybe I'll look at it.
And then I looked at that. I'm like, oh, okay. So, but I don't know if it's true.
Okay.
But I hope they go that route, like that would be a great end. It's just like, bam, and universe ends. Oh, they actually killed everybody, that would be pretty ballsy.
Yeah.
But Doctor Strange can go back in time, blah, blah, blah.
Do that. Because, I mean, when it came to the Avengers 4 set photos, we saw that they were they were looping back into like the Avengers, and that was all like, what the hell, what's going on with that? But then of course they were wearing like something on their wrist where it probably looked like that augmented reality shit, the barf technology.
You see the TV spot where Doctor Strange, since I've seen all possible possibilities?
No, I didn't see that.
You didn't see that? Yeah, he said that in the TV spot. So that might be part of it.
Yeah, so pretty much everybody's probably going to get killed. And then they're going to do something crazy.
That'd be interesting.
It would be. Michael Manette, this is for both of you. He says, if one of you was running DC and the other was running Marvel, would both of you make an agreement to make a Justice League Avengers film? Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Shake on it right now.
I would do that right now.
Jesus. Can you imagine how hard that would be?
Oh, my God.
I mean,
that's a $300 million box office opening weekend plus. Yeah.
I mean,
oh my God.
But just to try to make something like that, I mean, I can't even imagine how difficult it was to make Infinity War. I mean, Jesus Christ, you have a lot of these. How many are there? Actors,
60? Yeah.
Yeah, but you have a lot of these actors that are huge and they're doing other stuff too. You have to like schedules and everything. I mean, I can't even.
The budget on that is astronomical.
Jesus Christ. We would have to make $2 billion just to get.
We were talking about what movie fans would come together. That would be it.
That would be it. But then at the same time, then everybody would be pushing like, Justice League won. They won. Even if like nobody actually wins at the end, they actually ended up fighting like a common villain. There would still be like people back and forth.
Hulk would have beat
Superman. The Avengers won. The Avengers won, obviously, because it'd be there would still be.
Oh yeah, that's true. It'll be that. But at least we'll be praising the same movie, and all the actors and actresses won't give a crap. They're like,
that's true.
We're happy with each other.
We're fine.
Thanks for your money.
I know. Which they are.
But that would be, I would totally be up for that.
So if we both ran those companies, which I think eventually, maybe we'll get there. I don't know. We'll work hard.
Disney will buy them all.
Oh, jeez. Disney bought DC. Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God.
That would be something. They're just taking over the world. Pink Thanos. He says, do you think Marvel should be exempt? Pink Thanos. Do you think Marvel should be exempt from any criticism because it makes DC fans look like assholes? If we don't praise Kevin Feige, I saw a supposed DCEU fan suggest that that DC fans should not throw shade at the poor CGI of Infinity War. Whoa.
Oh. Hmm.
Well, I mean, his name is fully Infinity War is a big budget Starbucks commercial.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think he's one of those that absolutely hates all these movies except for DC. So, Pink, Mr. Pink, no, we should give the same critiques that we should no matter what. I don't think we should go overboard. Like what I always hate, especially when people subscribe to a certain group, is I hate the fact that nobody can say anything good about a film. Like, hey, you don't have to like Batman or Superman, but there's got to be elements that you did like. It can't be a shit sandwich for you like throughout. But some people will just be like, no, fucking suck the whole thing. Like, no, you're being biased then. Same thing on the other side. It's like, okay, if you can't say anything good about, say, like Spider-Man Homecoming or Civil War, it's like, okay, there's still good things in there. I'm not saying that it's all good. I mean, yeah, you could say that what they did with Flash Thompson in Spider-Man Homecoming was absolutely stupid. I thought it was dumb. They did crappy with like the side characters and everything. And you say what you want, but there's still other little good things in there, you know.
It's not just 0 and 100.
No.
There's numbers between.
Exactly.
Or it's not black or white. It's gray. You know.
No, exactly. So no, we don't have. They don't have to be exempt. They can receive the criticisms, but it can't just be like, nope, that sucked. That sucked. Well, you know, 0 out of 100. It can't. It shouldn't be like that. There should be like a discussion. That's just what I'm all about.
Discussion. Yeah, I agree. I agree to all your points.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, sadly, people aren't going to do that. Anyways, Scars On. He asked, recently watched Spider-Man 3. It's nowhere near as bad as I remember, but yes, dancing emo-looking Peter Parker is just so cringe. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
What would your visions of Spider-Man 3 consist of if you had any power? Go for it. You go first.
Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, say you're just coming off Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
What would your vision of Spider-Man 3 be?
Oh, man. I would definitely do the Venom thing.
Would you?
But more Venom, and maybe centralize it with Venom, and even, you know, paint the town red, Carnage. That was a great, for me, that was a great storyline when I was playing the video game and the comics. So I would have loved to see a movie like that if they're going to go the Venom route. I actually quite enjoyed Spider-Man 3. But like the emo thing, that's like, what the heck? And I think them keep going back to Uncle, you know, losing my mind now. Uncle Ben was maybe a bad idea. Like, there's like, oh, there was another killer. You know, oh, there was another. You know, to get that point across. So, I guess that was my answer. I would do a Venom Carnage thing.
There you go.
For Spider-Man 3.
And I agree with that. It's like either do that or do the Sandman story. Yeah. Don't have both. The fact that they had both is what fucked it up. Because the Sandman stuff was really good, I thought, in Spider-Man 3. The fights that they had and everything, I thought it was pretty damn awesome. Yeah. And I like the storyline, you know, the daughter and you know, and then I was actually okay with them tying it to Uncle Ben's death. I was okay with that, but that's only if it just dealt with just that story, you know. You can even have some of the Harry Osborn stuff, even though that got really cringy too at times. I
totally forgot about that. Harry Osborn.
Yeah. They had all that.
There's too much.
They could still have had that, but I think it was just having Venom and Sandman was where they went wrong with that. So yeah, I agree that they should have either went full Venom and had some carnage, or they should have just went Sandman was just the actual villain.
Yeah, I mean Sandman, and they could have done the black suit thing, but not reveal that to be Venom until the next.
And
movie.
It could have led it up to
that hinted,
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
But I don't think it's Sam Raimi's fault. I think the studio.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know, totally. I mean, another studio involvement.
Yeah, right. And it almost just seems like with that, like Raimi just said, you know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna make an Evil Dead 2 then. I'm gonna make an Army of Darkness. I'm gonna turn this into a comedy. And so he said, "All right, are you ready? Are you ready? We're gonna make you emo right now. You're gonna do a dance. It's gonna be so awful."
I know.
I think he just said, "Fuck this," and you know what? I'm gonna turn this into like a ridiculous, like you know, like because Evil Dead 2. I mean, if you look at Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, they're distinctly different.
Oh
I mean, the first Evil Dead. So the first Evil Dead is it's probably my favorite horror movie of all time because I love how simple it is. It's so limited budget. It's so it captures that just creepiness. The mocap, or not the mocap, but the stop motion animation even works for me. It just really works, and he did so many different tricks to pull off a lot of that stuff. And then when it came to Evil Dead 2, he was like, you know what? Let's change it up, and it's going to be horror comedy now.
Yeah,
and I think after just getting all the studio stuff, he probably just said, "Fuck this! I'm going to turn this into like a comedy-ish, thing." So I don't know.
Well, true thing. I actually watched it in out of order.
Did you?
I watched Army of Darkness first.
Oh wow!
Went to Evil Dead 2, and then went to Evil Dead 1.
I actually watched it.
I was like, wow, that was interesting. Yeah,
I watched it. I remember hearing about Army of Darkness. For years, and I just never watched it. And then I'm talking about probably about 15, 18 years ago. I think it was back when I was in high school. That's when I found Evil Dead. I was at a video store, and remember those? They don't exist.
Yeah.
And I found Evil Dead, and it's just like the cover just pulled me in. That poster just pulled me in. We got the girl coming out, and I'm like, and I was just really in a horror kick at the moment, and I fell in love with that movie. And then shortly after that, Evil Dead 2. But if you notice, like every time they do a recap of the previous events, they changed it. They changed it.
Yeah, they changed like it never happened.
Exactly. It was like Evil Dead 2 starts off by him talking about him and his girlfriend going up to the cabin. I'm like, wait a minute, you went up there with friends, not just a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then at the end of Evil Dead 2, when he goes back in time, he shoots that demon creature, and they all praise him as like this sent warrior. But then at the beginning of Army of Darkness, he's in chains and like a slave. And it's like, I never understood why he kept changing that.
And he progressively got more one-liners, sarcastic, he's a badass. He was a badass.
But then at the same time, that's what made the Ash character great. And now you got Ash versus the Evil Dead, which I watched the first season. Love it. I mean, it's good. I mean, it ended up working out, I guess.
Right. Even have those zoom in shots and stuff like that. So cool.
Yeah, they really can.
Yeah.
All right, we got Jason Mickey. He's asking, what would you say to a Man of Steel sequel from director of Tron Legacy and Only the Brave, Joseph Kosinski? Interesting choice. I mean, he's a good director. Tron Legacy is one of those movies that's like, I'm going to have to watch it again because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, but maybe not. Maybe because it was something... It didn't feel like the first Tron movie. That's for sure.
No. Well,
and maybe that's why people didn't take it in as much. I
don't know. Because the first, I gotta separate the nostalgia factor. Because the first Tron movie was one of those has retro arcade games, and that was cool. You're in a video game, and then they tried to do that again, but it's like, well, that's retro.
Yeah.
So the CG is, but I mean, I enjoyed it, but it's passable. Like I wouldn't want to watch it again, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah, it wasn't one of those movies where like I had to see it again.
Yeah.
I mean, it had its moments. It had its, the music went with it. I mean, it was very techno-y and stuff like that. Maybe that's, I don't know. It's just
right.
I don't know. It's really difficult to pinpoint what kind of went wrong with that movie. But then at the same time, I know there's a lot of people that love that movie. Right. And, there's a lot of things to love about that movie. I mean, the story, that what's his name? I can't think of his name. The character's name, Jeff Bridges' character. Was essentially he was stuck in the world, and he became like this like older man Zen character. And then there was like the other program that he created,
his clone,
that was like a version of himself that took over. I mean, I liked all that. And some of the stuff in there too, but this is all about the director. I mean, did you see Only the Brave?
I didn't see Only the Brave, so I cannot comment on that. Is it good?
Oh, it's a good movie. Yeah, really
it looks like story. A heart pulls at your hearstrings type of movie.
It can. I mean, based on a true story. I mean, and it was done very well. So yeah, I mean, he's a good director. So I mean, if he could tackle Superman, I say give it to him. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
And let's see, Carbonite. Carbonite says, let's see, he was asking about this. Apparently, oh man, he sent me screenshots from Cosmic Book News.
Oh,
good old Cosmic Book. Not exactly a reliable
very
source.
reliable.
Yeah, very reliable. No, I guess there was like a big director is rumored for a DC movie, and I guess he's thinking that it might be Peter Jackson. Okay,
Isn't Peter Jackson trying to do a Mortal Engines type of trilogy or something?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I don't think he's directing though. I think he might be just producing. I don't know.
He's just producing. Okay.
I don't know. I had to double check that. I thought it was just that, but maybe I'm wrong. But he says multiple sources point out that a big name director in talks for a DCEU film. From the list of names given, who do you think? I mean, he's saying like Steven Spielberg, Tarantino.
No, come on. No.
Ridley Scott. I don't see that either.
No.
That's that. He's just naming off big directors. That's it. That's all this guy's
doing.
He's
just saying it's a big director, and he's throwing names out there.
Big directors.
Yeah.
That's all he's doing.
A lot of big directors.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would think. I mean, honestly, if I was gonna say Peter Jackson was gonna join, I'd want him to do New Gods. I think he'd be pretty good for New Gods. Jesus Christ! But
actually, out of all the names you listed, Peter Jackson would be the most likely out of those names.
Yeah, out of those names.
Yeah.
I don't see Spielberg. Spielberg's too busy. He's doing other shit. He's about to do Indiana Jones 5, which is unnecessary, but whatever. I'll still watch it. Tarantino's doing his own thing, and then of course
Star Trek. Yeah, right.
I don't think he's going to direct that movie.
I don't think he's going to direct
it. A lot of people are thinking that he's going to direct it. I'm like, no. He just pitched the idea.
Yeah.
He might have a writing cred. That's about it.
Right.
But I don't think
he's writing it. Yeah. They could still look at that writing and like, no, change your mind.
Exactly. So from what I heard, there's multiple scripts.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I wouldn't. It's Cosmic Book. It's Cosmic Book. That guy, me and him have bumped heads. I've called him out on his bullshit, and he blocked me on both.
Did?
Oh yeah, I did.
Oh, he's one of those. Oh yeah, jeez.
He would post the most ridiculous bullshit, and I would be like, dude, you were like, and I called him out on it. I said like, no, this is you're just doing this for clicks. This is totally wrong. This, that, and this. And Clay Anos actually called him out on his lies a couple of times. And I was backing that up. I was like, even Clay Anos is telling you that you are fucking wrong.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the guy blocked me and blocked me. That's how it happens, because they know that they're wrong. He knew he was wrong. So fuck him. Anyways.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah. Thanos the Purple. That's interesting. There's a lot of Thanos names.
Yeah.
Do you think that Snyder and Ayer, after the Warner Brothers effect on their DC movies, would ever come back to do another DC film or work with Warner Brothers again? Well, Snyder's going to work with Warner Brothers. He's still working for
Warner Brothers. Yeah.
Yeah. Like his next movie is going to be a Warner Brothers film.
Yeah.
I believe. Last Photograph or Fountainhead, whichever one's coming. I believe he's still working for Warner Brothers.
He's to do a lot.
Yeah, to do a DC film, that's where it gets a little rough. I don't know.
Yeah, they'll probably, if anything, it will be a long time from now.
Yeah.
If like they ever reboot it or something, but and all the executives are not there anymore. The chair is not there anymore. But I mean, that's a hard one. I feel bad for him if he came back and they'll just rip him apart again.
Oh yeah, of course.
At this current state, I mean, I wouldn't.
Well, what about Ayer?
Him? I wouldn't. Ayer, I think he's didn't he really kind of in a way put down Warner Brothers and other studios? I think he may be doing more Netflix stuff now.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
in a way, they let him do what he wants to do for the most part.
There was the Gotham City Sirens thing, but it's just I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, Scoopy Pants. He says that it's not going to happen. So
anybody can say that, really.
Exactly. I mean, who knows? I mean, we haven't heard anything else. The last thing we heard from that was like when he posted that Black Mask image on his Twitter. Right. Wasn't that kind of like the last thing we kind of heard from that?
That's our kind of thing, yeah. And it all died away, just like Nightwing and
the
movies are there.
Well, but
Joker and Harley.
but McKay says that it's still very much in the process, so I'm still hoping for that movie. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Clayton Italian. I can never say your handle right. Claytalian. There you go. He asks, let's see. Well, he basically gives us an idea of a Batgirl movie. He said, and I had an idea for a Batgirl film. First 20 minutes would be a flashback to her days as Batgirl, leading to Killing Joke. hopefully not stemming from that animated movie where she fucks Batman on the rooftop.
Oh,
no,
that was
hopefully not that one. Oh god damn, I don't know what the hell
that was cringy.
Oh, that was very good. I couldn't believe it. My mouth dropped. Going, that would not. I mean, yeah, I get it. They wanted to do something different and blah blah blah. And I know we shouldn't take it too seriously, but I mean, Batman looks at Commissioner Gordon like a father figure. So it's like,
you know, all of those sexual things is Bruce Timm's fantasy. Really, Judd. You know, he came from that. He came from the noir comics with women, and it's like that's just him. That
was just
putting his little.
So stupid, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, that was terrible. Anyways, so then the movie would be her as Oracle working on a case in present parallel to a flashback Batgirl case. I like that. Thoughts? Yeah,
that could work. Yeah. Anything could work if it was done really good.
Yeah, I mean, if she's
I'm open.
She's working on a case that, you know, when she's Oracle, and then it touches base with a case that she worked on when she was Batgirl.
It's like a code case.
There you go.
Cold case, but superhero detective. I like that because it's detective.
There you go. And I was talking with some people on Twitter too. Like, it would be cool if they did that with the Batman, where we can the way that they could have a younger Batman and the older Ben Affleck Batman by having a flashback story to when he was younger, and it parallels to a story now. So the majority of the movie is the young version. Right. But we still have a narration in present day Ben Affleck Batman.
Ben Affleck, right. Yeah. And it connects to I'm up for that.
Yeah, exactly. You don't really see that in these superhero
And you know,
films.
That is the type of movie I think, I'm not sure, but Matt Reeves did talk about noir.
Yeah.
And having
that's
the narration and everything and going to, that's
and Ben Affleck, I mean, we had a touch of that at the beginning of Batman vs Superman when he's talking over, his treatment. I mean, and he has a great voice for it. I mean, that sounds like Batman.
Husky voice.
Yeah, it sounds like Batman telling a story, and you could totally see that in that noir tone. So
I would totally up for that.
Yeah,
Although when it goes to younger Batman, and then how
don't Jake Gyllenhaal.
It's like if you say. If it's his voice is so much higher, and it's just like
like I love Jake Gyllenhaal, but I can't get around him as Batman. I can't care what anybody says. I mean, if they were gonna do that, they would have to find somebody that looks like Ben Affleck.
Right.
It would have to be somebody that looks and sounds similar to him. It would have to be an unknown, and that unknown is gonna have to pull it off.
Someone said Casey Affleck.
Now,
I don't know if
his voice is higher than Ben's. I can't see him do a deep voice, Right. He has a higher voice.
Higher voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben can have a higher voice. Yeah. Ben can have a high voice too, but he can also bring it down really well.
Right.
I don't think I've heard Casey have a deep voice. Anytime he brings it down, it still has a highness to it. So now
I'd rather see a younger, black-haired, Bruce, and just have, Ben Affleck be more Ben Affleck than just to get those younger point across, And
they could totally work a whole through if Reeves wants to do a trilogy. Fuck, let him do a trilogy with all that.
Let's do it.
All right, last question here from Majin Guka Black Gaku.
Gaku.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Are you starting to get MCU fatigue? I actually enjoyed a couple of their early movies before they became repetitive and predictable and started including cringy humor and overusing fun. The only reason why I don't like the word fun is just because it's just like every critic was saying it's fun. I don't care that a movie can be fun.
Yeah, but, fun trademark.
Yeah, exactly. So what are your thoughts? Are you getting MCU fatigue?
I'm not. I'm not. I know a lot of people want me to
of course.
hate on Marvel, but no, I'm not. I mean, just look at Thor Ragnarok and Black Panther. Those are not copycat movies of each other, So it's different. And I actually enjoy that they're doing different things with it. Like Thor Ragnarok, they had that retro space vibe to it. Yeah. Black Panther was more, I guess, political. Can I say political in that? I guess it was political. Yeah. And I don't know what Infinity War is, but
it's all
Yeah, it's all the above and everything in between. But but no, I'm okay. I think it's good to keep having, you know, Marvel movies. It's just that competition is good for the genre.
Everybody benefits, you know, and I think
Everybody benefits.
Somebody from one of the companies actually said that. I forgot who. But they said, you know, if they do well, we do well, because
Henry Cavill said that.
Was it Henry Cavill? Okay.
Yeah, she said
so
that.
There you go, guys. Superman said it, you know. You know, and it's true. If the Marvel movies continue to do well, people will still want DC movies, you know.
Right.
But I mean, the challenge is to be competitive, but also be your own thing, you know. Don't do what they're doing. Do something different. And I think Fox Marvel was trying to do that with Deadpool, with Logan. Yeah. And even hopefully with New Mutants, but who knows what's going on with that now. But they were trying to do their own thing, even with Fantastic Four, because they were trying to do something different. But I think, you know, of course, Fox intervened.
Fox meddled so much in that.
I still want to see the train cut.
Train cut. The train cut, the air cut.
Yeah, everything, man. I mean, there was a good movie in there. I still stand by that. There was still a good Fantastic Four movie in there somewhere, but who knows where. But like I said, like they should be their own thing, and there should be competitiveness. But at the same time, as long as there's still demand for superhero movies, and people are still going to all the superhero movies, that's good. That benefits both brands.
And there's room for all types of comic books.
Exactly.
I go to a Marvel movie expecting a Marvel movie because I know it's going to be a Marvel movie.
Yeah, and we're not expecting something deep. Like if I'm gonna, you know, when I went to go see Thor, I wasn't expecting something deep. I heard it was like a lot of humor. And, you know, the first time I watched it, I thought it was good. And then the second time I watched it, a lot of the jokes were like, Jesus Christ, they're really trying too hard. Even with Guardians of the Galaxy 2, there was way, way too much, you know, going on with that. There was a lot of things I liked in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I liked Ego. I liked Kurt Russell. I liked
the father-son moments.
Yes. That whole thing, the whole dynamic was great, and the twist of all that. Yeah. And then, of course, what's his nuts? Sacrificing himself, like Rook's character. That was something different. But then, you know, in between the David Hasselhoff,
Yondu, that's his name. Yondu, Mary Poppins, yo.
David Hasselhoff jokes and the dick jokes, and that was just kind of not a fan of that. But I'm not expecting anything more from that. But obviously, when I put on Batman vs Superman, that's just something that I literally can just be caught doing this, like staring at the TV, like
Right.
You know,
and you're thinking about it afterwards. And you're like,
and that's just because that's my taste. You know, if somebody else looks at, you know, Civil War like that, power to you. We can have a discussion why you're wrong. But but we can have a discussion of what, you know, what do you find deep about that, and I can tell you what's deep about this, and then we can shake hands and then watch both at the end. But of course, that's not going to happen.
Well, the difference is that Zack Snyder intended that to be that layered.
Yeah.
It's not our interpretation of that movie, you know.
That's what I tell people nonstop. So if you want to, I mean, I always tell people
making it up.
I'm like, why? I always tell people watch Sucker Punch. Okay, that is a Zack Snyder movie.
Oh my God, that's so many layers.
Yes, that's a Zack Snyder movie that he came up with himself. It's not based on something that's already existed, like everything else that he's done. I mean, he pretty much every other movie, maybe not that Owls movie. I didn't even see that movie. I don't know if you saw the Guardians.
I did that. I can honestly say that's probably one of the least favorite Snyder movies. Like, I wouldn't care to watch that again. But
that's why I haven't jumped to watch it. I didn't even know that he directed that till like a couple of years ago. I was like, oh, he did that one. Yeah, but like Dawn of the Dead, you know, 300. I mean, they're all based on stuff that existed. You know, Watchmen. Yeah. Man of Steel, everything's based on something that existed.
Right.
So he always tries to interpret like, hey, let's put some layers into this, in these characters and the story. And then Sucker Punch is like something he created. That movie is it's just, you could just peel that onion back as far as you can. You're still going to find shit.
Oh my God. You know? Yeah. I don't, for him, when I went in there, you see the first layer.
Yeah.
And then you start to think about it after end, and it affected you. And I'm like, wow, what is that? And then when you see the extended cut, and I was like, wow, there is so many things. You can probably strip that down to like 3 different movies interlayered.
Oh, of course.
3 different realities interlayered, and it's like amazing. And I know a lot of people give me crap for it. Like,
I know it's dumb, but I don't know why.
Sexist.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you like the girls dancing? I'm like, well, that was part of something else. That was part of okay. And then you know, trying to explain that movie to people is also very difficult when you're like, well, wait a minute, she like goes to this place, and then all of a sudden she's in a burlesque, and then what the heck? And then they're like in like a video game. I'm like, well, yeah, it's kind of like representing like what's going on. It's you're not supposed to take like the video game part seriously or anything like that. It's it's a lot of people just it's really difficult to explain that movie to people. I'm just like, you just got to take it in. If you don't like it, you're not
gonna change anybody. Yeah. So, I've seen that already.
That's true, but hopefully, hopefully that we'll get that Snyder cut and everything. And I don't know. Keep your eyes peeled, people. Like I said, I've heard some things that I can't necessarily talk about, but no, it exists. But final thoughts here, Mr. Chris, on anything, Snyder Cut, your channel, where you want things to go?
Oh, where do I want things to go? Well, I did a little bit of a hopes and fears DCU because I was like, did I like the DCEU because of what Zack Snyder did and that type of storytelling? So that's going to be difficult for me going because I like Wonder Woman, but I am not deeply invested in Wonder Woman as in like BVS or Man of Steel. So, but I enjoy the heck out of that. But I'm wondering how much I can be totally invested or how much, works of art they could come out with these. The reason why I like DCEU was Snyder the reason why. So I'm fearful for my own interests of how I'm going to go from here on out. But I'll still continue because actually I'm more of a DC fan anyway. Yes, I'm a DC fanboy. Thank you.
Oh, how dare you?
Yeah, I know. I admit that.
A turd, you're a DC turd. Oh my god, Snyder turd.
Yeah. So, but I'm still. I think I'll still probably enjoy it. I want more Superman movies. Superman is my. You can tell. But I'm still interested in other movies as well. So I use YouTube as a way of letting out my steam and just laying out my thoughts because nobody else wants to listen to me around my area. So I'm hopeful, and I'm really hopeful for a Snyder cut. So maybe off the book, you can tell me more.
This guy trying to get look at that sneaky. No, but that's
I'm a fan like all of you else. So and I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, I mean that's what
cool.
I mean. That's why we started these channels, anyways. I mean, we're trying to be voices, and I mean, I know there's other channels out there that just go after one fan base and go after another fan base. Yeah, it's cool. Do whatever you want. It's fine, but
your opinion.
Exactly. I mean, but I always try to be like, okay. I could see the good in this over here a little bit, and I could see this. So, I mean, obviously, I'm more of a DC fan. I've been a diehard Batman fan pretty much as far back as I can remember. Collecting the books, watching everything that was Batman, and then, of course, liking the other characters. So, obviously, I'm more DC, but it doesn't mean I can't enjoy Marvel stuff. I'm not going to hate everything that comes out with Marvel, and I'm all just about guessing, and hopefully,
I'm interested in Marvel. I'm new to Marvel, like how the movies are coming out. And I asked my friend who's a Marvel fan, like, what's this going to happen? He's like, oh, well, this was different. This is different. And,
And I have fans like that too, because I didn't collect Marvel comic books when I was younger. I mean, I read my friends, like he was big on X-Men. So I probably know more about X-Men than I do know about the other characters.
I know more about Spider-Man than the other characters.
I got into Spider-Man as well. But I got into him later. Him and Deadpool kind of got into him, like both of them, like at the same time. I don't know why. I think I mean, I used to watch the Spider-Man cartoon, obviously. That was great, and also the X-Men
animated. That was really good.
I got into all those shows. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I got into a lot of those, growing up and everything, but I'd never like delved deep into Captain America or Hulk or Iron Man, So when the movies came out, that was when I was like, oh, I kind of would hit up my Marvel friends. So what happens? Oh, so there's more than one Captain America. Oh, so he's
I
still remember asking my buddy who was really into Marvel comics, because I kept hearing like, oh, there's a deleted scene in Incredible Hulk where you see Captain America on the ice, and I was going, why would Captain America be in the ice? Because I didn't know the backstory. This is a long time. This is a while ago. This is right after that came out, you know, and I didn't know. And he told me, he's all, oh, yeah, the reason how Captain America gets the present day, he basically just gets into the ice and gets thawed out and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, wow, I didn't know that he was created back in like World War, you know, I or II or the heck.
It spurred your interest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I remember a long time ago, somebody actually like photoshopped him in like one of those ships, like, you know, in the opening of X-Men Origins Wolverine, where like Wolverine and Sabretooth were like storming the beach. Somebody literally photoshopped him in the background.
Yeah, that was a Photoshop. I thought it was an actual DVD picture. No one, someone actually did. Oh, boy.
That? Yeah, everybody was trying to say that he was in the background of that little montage.
No, it wasn't real.
No, it wasn't real. Sorry. Damn, funny.
I just thought, I was like, wow, they were planning that from the beginning.
I just totally stomped on your nostalgia there. That was yeah. I know. I remember seeing that and going, "Oh my god, that's crazy!" But that was all Photoshop. But yeah, so it's always cool to, like, you know, you have your friends that are over here, and you know, you talk about certain things. Like they ask you about stuff, and you know, it's funny, especially when watching Batman vs Superman. A lot of people didn't know what the fuck was going on with certain things, and I think some of that might have hurt it too. You know, like, why are these flying creatures flying around everywhere? And I'm going, like, oh my god, it's parademons! Like, what?
Demons.
And then like when Flash was coming through the little portal talking to Bruce, and I was like, oh my god! And everybody, you know, my friends looking at me like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah,
Flash. That's the Flash.
Yeah, I know.
And they don't know what the heck. And then after walking out, I'm like explaining everything. I'm like, yep, that was the Flash. He could travel through time. He wants to, and it sounds to me like they're doing like this Injustice storyline that they're hinting at this,
and I love the Injustice story.
Exactly.
So I was like, homage to Injustice and stuff like that. I was like,
oh yeah,
that's an Alex Ross photo. It was,
I was discussing that with somebody I work with. We were discussing that. He's all, man, they're totally gonna do Injustice Superman. They're gonna do all that storyline. I'm like, it sounds like they're hinting at it.
Yeah.
Who knows how much they would have delved into that? But I think they would have, you know. Relative, I mean, with these movies, they always reference things. It's not like Batman vs Superman. It's not a full-on Dark Knight Returns adaptation, you know? But it's got hints of it. Same with
he was grabbing material from different movies and making homages and trying to make it work.
And that's what you have to do with these movies. You can't just like full-on adapt things. So, but anyways, I could talk to you probably another 5 hours about this. I think we should wrap it up. It's been 2 hours, man. Hey,
the kids are peeking through the doorway.
Yeah, they're like, Dad, hello. You're supposed to talk to us about this stuff. Well, go ahead and plug your stuff.
All right, guys. Well, I'm Chris Wong from Ping Pong Flicks. You can grab me at Chris Wong-Swenson. I think that's the thing. Or you look up Ping Pong Flick Show and you can see me there. I usually do a video every night. Hopefully tonight too. I got a Rampage video review coming up, so be on the lookout for that. I think you're gonna have one too, aren't you?
Yeah.
Cool. And you can find me on Twitter at Nexus Pong.
There you go. All right, guys. Appreciate you listening. Appreciate the questions. Of course, you guys know where to find me right here, and my Twitter handle, of course, Dave E. 2 E's Pena. And appreciate you guys listening, and we will talk to you later.